you. Check out both locations. You can go to Benson, right next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market and enjoy the atmosphere of baseball. And when you do visit them, tell them Severe sent you.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover is crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover. The crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Real quickly before we get the crossover, I was mentioning the passing of former Millard South Activities Director Barb Wagner. Gave the wrong time, by the way, for the memorial, which will be next Wednesday at St. Stephen's. It's at 5 p.m., not 3 p.m. 5 p.m. is when that'll be. So I just wanted to make sure I corrected that. What's up, boys? Good to see you back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Can you not hear yourself?
It's something's going on in here. I don't know. I'm going for a terrible. And everything blows up. Can you guys hear us okay on the radio?
I hope so.
What's going on?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
All right, good.
Like there's not a damn thing wrong.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and power through. What's up? How was your long weekend?
It was good. It was great to see you on Sunday. Sunday was a big great baseball day. Between what took place downtown and then what took place in Sarpy County.
There's some good energy this year out at the Storm Chasers games. People are getting hyped because they want to see their International League leading Omaha Storm Chasers.
Yeah, it's not just the big club up there.
One of the best in all of minor league baseball so far. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. Yeah, I left downtown right as Gabe Swanson punched one into the gap and to take the 2-1 lead. It was a tight.
You were very confident. You're like, all right, that's it.
I mean, I had to go out to Warner Park. And, so I had the deadline of noon and I figured I'll probably be leaving about the 6th and everything will happen. It was basically over. I mean, that was it. I knew Brett Sears was going to come in and get that.
Did you see the reaction?
Bunch of nerds on Twitter.
Yes.
God.
Man, there was a lot of people freaking out.
It's my favorite time of the year, Nick. It's my favorite time of the year. To inform all the football fans that baseball pitchers can throw pitches.
Well, I don't know. I'd really like him to sit on the shelf for a whole week before he does anything.
It turns out that you like to have your best pitcher on the mound when you're trying to win a championship.
Yep.
For 13 pitches when his next start isn't for 5 days.
Guess what? That would have been a fraction of his bullpen because if he wasn't throwing that day, he was going to throw what we call the business of bullpen. See, and that's usually at least 45 pitches.
I thought he was actually doing when he started to get up, which is probably in about the 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
He started to get up and kind of stretch out. I thought he was just going to throw his whole side down there.
He's just going to do a side session. He'd be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe throw a flat ground later.
Take care of the game. I was like, this is awesome. This is great. And they got to finally do the dog pile in Omaha. What a day. What a day.
I'm glad you brought that part of it up because I did. I saw a lot of that. People were like, nope, don't even. Nope,
yes, that was half the responses I got.
Yeah.
So I was.
I was like, hey, I wonder if Sears might be warming up.
Seventh inning, I'm like, hey, I think it's time to get Sears going. Let's do this thing. And it's got to be the right situation. Like I want him to have a full inning.
Maybe a hell no in there too.
I want him to have the lead, and like 6 people just automatically go, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Connor, apparently you are not a Nebraska fan, and also, you want to see a starting pitcher for next week just be completely just trashed.
Yeah, but he's going to have Tommy John now. And then even afterwards, somebody was like, hey, well, if he does poorly on Friday, people are going to go back to Sunday and be like,
you know what, though? It's true.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is the dumbest thing, but they'll use that.
Well, I mean, that's famously why Shohei Ohtani needed the elbow surgery that he had.
He pitched on Sunday
because he pitched in the World Baseball Classic at the end there.
Yep, there you go. I think we're on to something.
They were all mad about what was it? 21, the regional. What was the guy for Arkansas?
Cops. Cops. Yeah,
Cops.
Yep.
Cops comes in, he throws like 70 pitches, and then he comes back like a day later and throws like 150.
Yeah. Those not the same situations there, and not the same usage there. I think a lot of teams that would have a guy like Sears at their disposal, especially rested, the way that he was, and normal routine the way that it fell into that day, it made a lot of sense. My only, and you guys have seen this enough, and especially in college baseball, when you do, well, you see in Major League Baseball too, where you might get the occasional Verlander or Scherzer coming out of the bullpen in a Game 7. Sometimes the change of routine can be a little weird. I mean, if you had one concern about anything of Sears coming in, that would be the only one that I would have.
That's why I said I want it to be a full inning, and I want him to have the lead. And it worked out perfectly. The Brocket man got through 8, and it was perfect. It was awesome. And this is I was already on edge because this is minutes after I'm getting crushed on Twitter for tweeting out the forecast for the day, which inexplicably the Big Ten moved their championship game.
There was like a 15% chance of rain.
10 a.m.
And that's why it was so early in the day.
And I took a picture, and I took a picture of the forecast for the day from my iPhone weather app, and I go, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Why is the Big Ten doing this? And then all the people came back to me. They were like, well, KETV says that they had a... It's like...
So people started throwing different weather forecasts at you?
That was the whole point. They said, don't use the iPhone weather app. It is notoriously bad. Well, guess what? You just got dunked on by the iPhone weather app.
Actually, my wife goes to that one a lot, and it is pretty bad.
Well, I don't care.
On that day, you got to win.
Okay, but the logic was, some people came back to me with the logic of, well, you can't trust any forecast these days because, number one, they're all wrong, and number two, we live in Nebraska.
Oh, shut up. Don't be the weatherman's always wrong guy.
Listen, logic,
if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes and it will change.
By the same logic, if it's always wrong, isn't the weather app that you're using always wrong as well?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's what I thought. So, Big Ten. Stupid. Big F for
they missed out. I think Mitch tweeted this out, and I'm with him. 20,000. I think they would have at least neared that.
They would have had to open up the outfield.
I think so too. Well, and they had standing room only, and people could they have not gone into the bleachers because you saw all those people just standing out in the concourse behind the bleachers.
Yeah, they could have.
That's why I was wondering why they didn't sit.
They did for the title game. Oh, it was a number of years
in
ago
19.
Now. Yeah, 19.
Or no, I'm sorry, not 9. Yeah, 19. Yeah, because that was the year that Michigan.
They ended up scattering them out there a little bit.
Yeah, they lost to Ohio State. And so that, I don't think that one quite reached 20. I know the Schwarber Indiana team, that one was like 20 or 21, because that looked like a light College World Series crowd.
Yeah.
So you had, the weather was perfect. If you had a 1 p.m. start time, you're knocking on the door of 20 for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful afternoon.
Apparently the Big Ten just doesn't like money.
It worked out for me. I went over to the other ballpark. Yeah. And I went over to Werner, and we enjoyed a nice not weather interrupted baseball game. Yep. And it was actually a picture perfect day. It's about 78 degrees.
Dare I say it was a top 10 day.
A couple wispy clouds in the sky, nothing threatening whatsoever.
I want to not get used to our experience on Sunday, but I'm telling you what, if you get that field level suite, and that was our neighbor, and he had won that.
You had a good setup.
That is the way to go. That is an amazing, because you're so close to it, yet you got the amenities there. We had a nacho bar.
Nacho.
Oh, we had a nacho bar.
Did they get to choose what?
Yes.
What kind of?
Yeah.
A lot of people
they chose
the
correctly.
Strips.
Oh, I mean, there were some kids there, so I could understand that, but they seem to be okay with the nacho bar. It was a little messy, which I think kids always enjoy a little messy.
Nacho bar works. I saw during the t-shirt toss that the mascot absolutely rammed one right into your suite. just bulleted.
I think he was pissed because for a while I thought Connor somehow snuck into the Stormy outfit.
Oh, this is great. Tell the story.
Yeah. So I think I know I text you that my son wanted Stormy to sign his hat, but I think before that I just said, "Hey, looking good, man. I see you over there." And then you came by and said something. Then like 2 innings later, I didn't see you anywhere. And then all of a sudden Stormy shows up, and the guy next to Stormy has a name tag that says Connor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I think Connor just jumped into Stormy's outfit, and the guy's wearing the Connor badge, and the guy.
So what'd you do?
And Stormy knocked my my City Connect Cleveland Guardian hat off, and so I'm like, yeah, that's a total Connor thing he would have done. And then I realized. So then when I saw Connor later in non-Stormy outfit, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, that was you, right? That was up
Yeah,
there.
but you were giving Stormy some you were like,
Oh yeah, I smacked Stormy on the butt. Thinking it was Connor. Yep. So there might be a pending lawsuit on me. Stormy felt violated because the whole time I thought it was Connor. Yeah, I smacked. We
have an intern whose name is actually Connor, and
so he was really Connor.
Sometimes he's in charge of.
Who was Stormy? And do you think Stormy would have been okay with my antics?
Stormy was a little. I think he was getting used to the heat.
Okay.
And
Jumped up a level over the weekend.
Yeah. So I ran back into Stormy's den, and I said, "Hey, Stormy, get your ass up. It's time to go work."
Oh, they're going to say, "Hey, apologies for my friend Nick. He thought it was me." So if he offended you in any of his gestures or his forcefulness, if you will, that's
amazing.
That's a common mistake there.
Amazing. I was not Stormy. I do maybe one
Don't
day.
you want to be Stormy, right?
I could do it for a day, sure.
Yeah, I could see you doing that. But you
have a lot of fun.
You kind of crush it on the mic, though. So you should don't give up those responsibilities in time. They were impressed that I knew you. Everybody in the suite was like, "Oh man, how do you know that guy?
Oh,
how do you know Connor?"
Oh no.
Yeah,
Well,
you're Connor.
They found out that it was my birthday on Saturday too, and
but
it
that's
turned into a whole scene.
Oh yeah, did you get anything thrown in your face?
No,
Okay.
no, nothing thrown in my face. Just
that'd be a pie thing.
a lot of very nice people saying happy birthday.
Oh, well, that's good.
I was very happy to hear all of it for sure.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, it was a good weekend, and yeah, the weather held up. That's what allowed us to have a 10 a.m. baseball game. That was good.
We'll let you go here, but one final text. Poll question: have you ever smacked a mascot on the ass because you thought your friend was in the costume?
I'm curious how many people have done it.
Put that one up there.
At
Get you
least
the results.
there's one that I can know. I can give a wholehearted yes. Yes, I have.
Nick, thanks.
Yep. See you guys.
That is the crossover, which is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It is Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday, and we'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The bottom line is, for 6 months of YouTube TV, 5 of Prime Video, 1 month each of Peacock, ESPN Plus, and Netflix, comes to a grand total of $506.86. And then if you want to add the Sunday ticket, you're looking at $855 if you want access to every single NFL game played this season.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, breezy, and warm for your Tuesday. Expect northwest winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour with highs around 80. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Hey, Brianna, look at you, graduating already.
Yeah, knocked out my gen eds in 2 years at MCC.
And now you're off to
finish my 4-year degree at the university.
That was fast. I'll bet your mom
loves that. We saved thousands in tuition.
Now that's smart.
That's Metropolitan Community College.
Knock out your gen eds in 2 years before transferring to a 4-year university. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start June 5th.
This is me at MCC.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, the board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
The Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont is just minutes away from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake, your perfect dinner destination. Don't mistake the small town charm for small town food, because the Woodcliff Restaurant is a culinary treat. Voted Omaha's best outdoor patio, it's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy watching the fish and boats from the lakefront patio. Stop fighting traffic, parking, and one-way streets. Slow down and enjoy a fantastic dinner at the lake. Check them out at woodcliffrestaurant.com or Facebook for specials and events.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. We are back, folks.
We never left.
Back in full swing. And we're getting geared up now on the road to Omaha. The road from Omaha back to Omaha, maybe, for Nebraska baseball.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
Be pretty good. Pretty good.
The college football home on Twitter predicted.
Oh, the college football home.
Nebraska to the College World Series.
Interesting.
They would know, right?
I wonder what else college football home has predicted in regards to Nebraska in the past. It's almost like that's a burner account that is run by Nebraska fans. I don't know. There's so many. There's just so many.
They said what I wanted to hear, though.
There was another one out there that said that Nebraska football was going to be the biggest turnaround team this year or something like that. Love it.
Let's go.
This is the content we're here for here in the off season. Welcome to the show. Hope you had a lovely long weekend. Got some dogs on the grill. Got some burgers on the grill. Things like that. I had to get a new thing of propane. This weekend. What?
I didn't. I thought
new grill.
New grill. I was like,
it might be getting time.
Okay.
I have let mine deteriorate in a way in which I did not expect it to over the period of the last 4 years. But what is the normal lifespan for a grill?
I was going to ask that. I don't know.
I think most people just have one grill and they just use it for the rest of their lives, which I'd be happy to. If you're like Brian Munson, you have 9 grills.
Yeah. You got the grill. You got the flat top grill. You got the.
I don't need the smokers and the stuff. I would love to do that. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time or the commitment level to do anything like that. But I like to throw some stuff on the grill. So let me know. You grill guys out there, please let me know. I got the lawn gas mode over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Watched some baseball. Was all around our baseball parks this weekend. Watching Nebraska win a Big Ten championship on Sunday almost morning.
It was almost still morning.
We'll talk about that dumb conference and its good conference champions who hand in the air, Josh. I think both of us here, both hands in the air. Put them up, Josh. We both said, I don't think this is the type of team to be able to lose their first game and make their way back through the losers bracket and win the deal. Guilty as charged. You got me.
Boy, you really showed me.
As Walter White said, you got me. And
you lose your first game by 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure that there was any coming back from that, but boy, was I wrong. There's egg on my face today.
What? Why do you sound sarcastic right now? There should be egg on your face. Egg on everybody's face. We were wrong. They won.
They did. I'm
they get
happy to be wrong.
And they get to play Jack Caglione now in his size 16 shoes. It'll be exciting.
In a tiny baby ballpark.
In a tiny baby ballpark. How far might Jack Caglione hit one on Friday?
It's gonna happen.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We do have Brett Sears, though.
Just make sure it's a solo shot.
There you go. There's the hope.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we get a tweet in here from Joel.
Hi, Joel.
Biggest lie we all tell ourselves, quote, I'm going to clean this grill every week and it won't be a greasy mess in a couple months. I have however many, 52 weeks in a year for the last 4 years. I was like, you know what I need to do? I need to get out there and really take some time and work on the grill.
Really clean it.
Really clean. Never happened. Hasn't happened once.
New season, I'll do it.
Just let it get another winter of rust on it, and then I'll pull it out next year. Yeah, no big deal. Now the idea is you get a new. Okay, so we have some takes on grills from people. J. Todd, I buy cheap grills. They're usually good for about 3 years, but I use mine all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get, if you're gonna buy a grill, buy a Weber. Lifetime warranty on every part of it. My dad has replaced almost every part of his, and he's had it for close to 20 years.
Oh, hello.
Shout out to Weber.
Yeah.
In their customer service. Ryan says, it's not rust, it's seasoning. Yeah, I like my steak with a little rust on it.
Builds character.
Helps you know you're alive a little bit. All right, we will jump into Nebraska baseball. Plenty of thoughts on them from over the weekend and their regional setup. First game on Friday afternoon against Florida in Stillwater, Oklahoma, which is just 6 hours away.
Straight shot.
I was told that tickets go on sale tomorrow morning for the Stillwater Regional, but only after the Cowboy fans have an opportunity to gobble every single one of them up with their season ticket holders in their new ballpark down there, O'Brate Stadium. So whatever's left, I would imagine, will be taken up by Nebraska fans. I wonder how much of a Florida presence makes it to Stillwater, Oklahoma, especially considering they were probably ready for their season to end. In fact, they weren't even one of the first 4 teams or the last 4 teams that was into the field with their 13-17 regular season SEC conference record.
But it's an SEC record.
They are in the SEC.
11 teams in the dance.
We'll get into a little Nebraska schedule talk as we'll know some more things, I think, by the end of this week. We have the bracket in college baseball. We have an injury that is important to Josh Odson on the baseball front.
We don't have to talk about it.
Well, we do. It's a big story.
I mean, it happened so many days ago. Like 2. Happened 2 days ago.
I'll be honest with you. If there's anything happened on Thursday and Friday, didn't we decide that we were going to pay players on Thursday and Friday?
Yes.
We're just skipping over
that. Happened.
Now we're going to pretend like that did not happen. We're going to maybe we get to it at some point in the next couple of weeks, leading up to the College World Series. Angel Hernandez retires. We will have a nice send off for Angel Hernandez, who has been incredible. I mean, it's just an incredible run.
Model of consistency.
Of somehow staying at the top position in sports, in baseball, in the major league level as an umpire for decades. Generations of players have said, this guy is the worst. He stinks. And yet he kept a job for that long. I say that is worth a healthy thank you, sir. Great job, Angel. We'll talk about that later in the show. And yesterday, surprise, sad news that Bill Walton had passed away. Man, that was, I didn't even know he was sick.
No, I didn't either.
And I think that was probably part of the deal from him. Kept it under the vest a little bit, but sad stuff from yesterday as well. We will hear from Allan Bell, who is all in on college baseball at 11:30. We'll hear from Jacob Bigelow at 1 o'clock of Huskers Illustrated. We'll talk some baseball with him and some hoops as well. We'll play a game of MLB reaction, overreaction. And that is the setup for the show. The lineup is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Would love to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh-O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. What up, streamers? What's up, brother? Josh, why aren't you wearing your headphones?
There's no point. It's just you and me talking, and I can hear it better.
Oh, really?
Without my headphones on.
It seems like it's different.
Well, it's very different. I don't love it, but the buzz is so pronounced that
something's going on in here. Stop me if you've heard this before, but something's going on in here. I don't know what. We are proud to report that the air conditioning seems to be working.
Okay. If you say so.
That's good. And we are also proud to report that I think you can hear us okay.
Yeah.
The problem is we can't hear ourselves really that well.
Yeah.
So
over the air product is fine.
We are continuing to work out some kinks, as we always are. But first, we'll start off the show here. May 28th, a day in history that we will never forget. We will always remember. May 28th, 2016. That was when we lost a gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo named Harambe. There was a little boy who entered the gorilla cage, and then craziness ensued after that. It created this online sensation. Harambe. There was a segment on the afternoon show. I don't even know what they did on Harambe karaoke, but they talk about it all the time. I don't even know what that is. But Harambe is a thing. And it led to a great sports radio moment from a friend that we haven't checked in on in quite a long time. We're not sure what Mike Francesa is doing these days, but we do know that he had one of his greatest days on air on May 28th of 2016. That was when he was forced for 37 seconds to talk about the passing of a gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo. Here is how it sounded on WFAN in New York.
Could you imagine if that was your child in there? You're going to have people who are going to say, wait a second, I'm worried about the gorilla. When your kid's in there, basically maybe seconds from having his head crushed. We live in a world now where you are going to be more concerned with the gorilla than you are the little boy. What's wrong with you people? They're thinking about him. He fell into an area where he's in there with a gorilla who is dragging him around the habitat, and you're telling me you're worried about the gorilla's welfare? What is wrong with you?
The gorilla.
The darn gorilla.
The gorilla. I miss Mike Francesa and his takes every single day because you really knew what to expect. Now all we have is the Mad Dog on MLB Network talking about stuff that happened in the 50s every day.
I do like my Copacabana update.
I do too. I do too. On this day, 1952, here's what happened. But no, Mike Francesa.
He is talking to Chris Sale right now. I would like to hear that.
There is a reason why we call Mike Francesa. Isn't that Jeff Francoeur?
About Chris Sale, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Jeff Francoeur. I don't think that's Chris Sale.
Frenchie.
There's a reason why they call him the sports pope. And that's because his takes are, so good that everybody should have to listen to them at all times. And so when he is met with this, very fluid situation at the Cincinnati Zoo, he once again brings the goods, as he always does. You're worried about the gorilla? There's a kid in there. We're worried about the gorilla? Give me a break. Thank you, Mike Francesa.
It's one of those old man topics set up on a tee for him.
And it's been a long time since we've said this, but R.I.P. Harambe.
R.I.P.
Harambe lived to be 17 years and 1 day old.
Really?
Yes, 17 years and 1 day.
Wow.
Born on May 27, 1999, and was fatally shot at the Cincinnati Zoo What's so funny? On May 28th, 2016, with the gorilla
fatally shot.
He was shot. He has a Wikipedia page. Cause of death, gunshot wound.
I'm aware. It's a gorilla.
He was 440 pounds at the time of his death. 440 pounds.
One request. When I die, please don't publish my weight.
Agreed. Thank you. I would like to agree with that as well. All right. We got a couple things here from the crossover. Here's John in the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
He says, subject line, Sears. The people saying Sears shouldn't have thrown on Sunday are the same people that wear football jerseys to baseball games and think walking down the street yelling, "Go Big Red" is cool. Ass hats, John says.
5 stars. No
hey,
notes,
look,
John.
There is something. Look, we experienced it with Ole Miss a couple years ago at the College World Series. They just flock to winners. Okay, we flock to winners. If Nebraska's got something on the line, yes, we are all football fans at heart. And then if you're a football fan and you're experiencing baseball and it's sort of a foreign thing to you and it's an important game, maybe you have some takes on what you think should or should not happen. Maybe your reality is based in the idea that football games happen once every week and it's impossible to play in the meantime, right? From in between those two days. Otherwise, it will be very detrimental. And it would be very detrimental to a football team. Brett Sears pitched and started a game for Nebraska on Wednesday. He was not scheduled to pitch again for 9 days. And so in the middle, there is a game with a lot of importance. I am personally very pleased at how seriously Nebraska took that championship game, and like for good reason, right? You make your way back to the losers bracket, but I really appreciated how it felt like they wanted to dogpile on that field. That's what I was kind of waiting, because you have the safety net of the entire team, and that's what people are thinking about. You have the safety net of, what, if we don't win, it doesn't really matter. We weren't really trying, and we'll just get to go to a regional anyway. You could let Penn State have their regional, and they could bid steal somebody else, but they're not going to bid steal us. But I really appreciate how Nebraska said, no, we're going to throw our big guns out there. We're going to get everything we can from the Brockett man, and then we're going to throw Brett Sears out there and close this thing out because he's the best we got. And it's going to pitch again on Friday, and it'll be like nothing ever happened, except for Nebraska now has a trophy and a championship belt and a bunch of cool pictures like a dog pile on Charles Schwab Field for the very first time in that program's history. I mean, that's a really big deal.
On Thursday, Connor, you weren't here. John and I played the clip of the in-game interview with Ohio State's coach, and he talked about
the Omaha bathrooms.
Yeah, the Omaha bathrooms.
No, I was here. That was Wednesday.
Oh,
I did that.
Yeah, that was you. I'm sorry.
I did that.
We talked about the Ohio State team being sort of in awe and appreciating playing on that field, and we thought, Nebraska doesn't really ever seem to feel that way, regardless of what month it is, and they improved their record to above 500.
Yeah. It's easy to look back in retrospect and say, hey, look, they lost 15-2. And that's what we did. I didn't feel like Nebraska was going to be around long, knowing that they had a really good chance to win each of their next 2 games because Nebraska has Brett Sears and Mason McConaughey, who are both, kind of aces in their own right. 2 of the best starters in Nebraska, starter seasons that Nebraska's had in quite a while now. There's a reason why Nebraska feels really good about themselves going into a regional, but I thought it kind of has to stay on track for them, right? If they get behind. And so when you go down 0-1 in the Big Ten tournament, you got to make your way all the way back. You're not worried about the Sears and McConaughey days. You're worried about the unknown that happens after that. And so what you would need is somebody somewhere along the way to give you 4 innings out of nowhere, 4 innings that you could have never expected. Creighton had it this year with Cade Lummel in the Coastal Carolina game. It's like, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to match it up in a way that works for us? And sometimes the answer is getting performances from people that you never expected to get great performances from. And that came twice this past weekend on the mound for Nebraska. That's where I start. Obviously, Karen was awesome and Gabe Swanson was awesome. And, Nebraska had timely hitting and they had clutch hitting. And, Karen was hitting the ball out of the yard like crazy. And that was great. It's a relatively like balanced, top to bottom. They have some speed. They have some power. They can hit it gap to gap. Like they can hit for average and they get timely stuff. I expected that piece from Nebraska baseball. What I did not expect was Will Walsh to throw 9 innings on Saturday morning. What I did not expect was the Brockett man to throw 8 innings with a championship on the line on Sunday, especially after Penn State loaded the bases in the first, and they got Chad Lensman's brother hanging dong on everybody. He's like pulling his pants down as he's coming off the mound, dancing. He's toe tapping off of the mound. That guy is in his bag. And, the Brockett man, as I'm now calling him, by the way, the Brockett man,
good nickname.
He found a way to get to 8 or get to the 9th to get through 8 and turn it over to Brett Sears, and Nebraska got the clutch timely hit from Gabe Swanson when they needed it. They won a championship. I mean, I really do think that means a lot when we think about that team in 21 that had so much swagger going into that Arkansas regional. That team won a Big Ten championship. Like they had a reason to feel the way that they did about themselves. And I don't know that Nebraska really got that, really felt that up until Sunday. And so that should play very, very well for them going into the regional round. We'll see. I mean, it's 2 tough teams that are in there. Sorry, Niagara. There are 2 tough tems in there.
Disrespect.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, but it's balanced. Nebraska's the 2, and they're gonna throw their best out there on Friday. And frankly, I'd take their best. If you got a Friday night starter, if you got one guy that can get you 6 or 7 innings, then you're gonna be set up pretty well.
You want to win championships, you're gonna have to play a tough team. You're gonna have to beat a good team. Not that they didn't last week, but you got to do it again, and then again, and then again.
I don't know how many times they did it last week. Indiana's okay.
Yeah. And quick
Nebraska baseball adjacent news.
No, it was really cool to hear Greg get to make that call at the end.
Oh my gosh, it was. Yeah, so I left I left after Swanson got his hit and hopped in the car, and I didn't know that Greg was doing the game that day. And I hopped in. I'm like, this is awesome. This is fantastic. And got down there and got to celebrate with everybody. Absolutely. Yes. That was so great to hear. So it's good vibes right now for Nebraska baseball. And we'll talk about this as we go on throughout the show today. But I think it turns out, it maybe feels like Nebraska, when we look at the tournament bracket and the road to Omaha and the regionals and how it all turned out, I think it's very possible that Nebraska was one measly Tuesday night loss to South Dakota State away from being right smack dab in the middle of that conversation of hosting a regional. That is very sad in a way, because it would have gotten to square 40 wins, right? 40, you would have been 40-19 if everything else turned out the same. Maybe it doesn't, but whatever. It would have got you to a square 40 wins. Big Ten second place regular season, Big Ten champions in the tournament, ran through tough teams to get there. And maybe you could have at least thrown your name in the hat. I don't think Nebraska was really in the hat when they mixed it up on, yesterday morning on the selection show. But I think they would have been in the hat had they just won that game, because their RPI would have been about, 5 to 7 spots better, probably.
Nobody really hosting the quote unquote northern team.
Nope. Indiana State got screwed.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Should have played in the SEC, Sycamores.
Yeah. Well, they put together a pretty good non-con schedule, and they still got slapped with Lexington, Kentucky, the number 2 overall seed in the tournament. We'll talk about that as we go on throughout the show today as well. How about this Nebraska baseball news? Nebraska baseball adjacent news.
A bye to the Supers.
And it also involves Josh Hodson. The Atlanta Braves are calling up pitching prospect Spencer Schwellenbach, according to sources familiar with the situation.
Let's go.
How about that? So we were just talking about Arkansas 2021. There's your horse from that regional, and he's going to make his big league debut this week as Nebraska heads back to another 6-hour southern trip to a regional.
After another performance from Meatball Morton yesterday.
He's old, Josh.
Yes,
Be nice.
He's old. He's also getting $20 million.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. All right, we're off and running on a Tuesday. You got anything for us? Please let us know. We'll talk to Allan Bell in about 45 minutes. Jacob Bigelow at 1 o'clock. Here we go on a Tuesday on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook. Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com and set the hook.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Brad Heller with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Giants pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau has set a big personal goal entering his 3rd season. He wants to break the sack record of 22.5 held by former Giant great Michael Strahan and current Steeler TJ Watt. Thibodeau had a career-high 11.5 in 2023. He believes the game has evolved since Strahan played, and he's confident these changes will work in his favor. New Steelers linebacker Patrick Queen said he turned down more money for a chance to win right now with Pittsburgh. The former Raven said he had offers from teams for some $17 million a year, but opted to take less and signed for 3 years and $41 million because he believes he can win a championship there. And Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter says he's ready to be better than he was last season as a rookie. He's focused on conditioning this spring in the hopes of staying strong throughout 2024. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
From groan-worthy dad jokes to patching up skinned knees, your one-of-a-kind dad deserves a gift guaranteed to take him to his happy place. Show him the love with a gift as unforgettable as he is. Omaha Steaks. Order the deluxe Father's Day gift package at omahasteaks.com. 20 unforgettable entrees plus 4 free burgers for just $89.99 when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. Code SIZZLE at checkout. Omaha Steaks, America's original.
Host is roasting every morning.
How does Host Coffee Services provide the best coffee for your workplace? By finding the richest and most robust coffee beans from all around the world and bringing them to our Nebraska roastery, where your coffee is roasted fresh and delivered straight to you.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
And I think we fixed our sound, so
That's right.
no need to worry about us anymore.
I fixed it.
I know you guys were concerned.
I get accused of breaking it all the time, but I have fixed it.
Very good, Josh. That is true. That is true. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You have worked the problem. I saw you just staring at the board like it was going to tell you something. It must have told you something.
It did. I said, this light doesn't look like the other lights. And I nailed it.
Very good. Very good job. All right. Let's talk about the sad news from yesterday. But with that, like, it's with a happy slant, right? How could you talk about Bill Walton and be like, outside of sad that he's not with us and we don't get to hear him ramble about whatever it is he's rambling about on a Pac-12 broadcast for a variety of different reasons now. Outside of that, how could you talk about Bill Walton in a sad shape? I don't think you could.
It seems very difficult.
Did you know any Bill Walton haters? Because there was people out there yesterday who were like, "Hey, if you encounter anyone, have encountered anybody who doesn't like Bill Walton, is out on the antics or whatever it is, like is here for serious basketball analysis or something like that, like you just need to probably not be friends with that person."
Definitely. I mean, a while ago there were people who were like, "Oh, just call the game, man. Just call the game." And then he kept doing his thing, and we adapted to it. Like we knew, like, okay, he's gonna do that, and I got to know that on the front end.
Here's the thing: it's like for people around here, like you and I, Josh, I don't know how many people are really watching intently Pac-12 basketball on a nightly basis.
Not a lot, I imagine.
I don't think so. So
maybe a Dana Altman Oregon Duck game on occasion.
When I saw the clips that would inevitably pop up with him and Dave Pasch after the game, I would be like, sweet, I'm gonna watch this. I don't know what he's gonna say. I have an idea of kind of what it's going to be about, just about the essence and the beauty of life and things like that. That I would get excited when I saw things like that. I'm not like, I don't pay attention to Pac-12 basketball for the Pac-12 basketball. I'm just excited when the Bill Walton stuff came up. And remember, that's a guy who was a Hall of Fame NBA player, career kind of marred by injuries a little bit, but he was a 2-time All-NBA guy, and I think won an MVP. Yeah, won an MVP with the Blazers, number 1 overall pick, John Wooden guy.
He was on the 50th anniversary NBA team, on the 75th anniversary NBA team.
And it's totally, we think about him as so much more than that now, whether it's a deadhead or just a guy who likes to wear tie-dye shirts and is kind of wacky. I didn't know he was sick. I didn't know he had cancer. And so when I saw that yesterday, and I was like, geez, man, that's kind of a gut punch. People say gut punch and I'm gutted and stuff like that all the time, but that was kind of like, oh, geez, I didn't see that one coming. That one hurts.
And I would refer everybody to the tweets of Dave Pasch today, who is screenshotting texts he received over the years from Bill Walton. And he texts like he talks.
You want to give me a couple?
Sure. Let's see. Okay. I hope you're watching this Nick Cavs game. Superb. Check it out. Still time. Hopefully the announcer will reset the scene for you. Enjoy. BW. Are you watching this masterpiece? UCLA at UW.
Are you watching this masterpiece
on ESPN? I have no idea who's calling the game, but the guy is stealing your lines. I have no clue. That is true, but theft plagiarism is not right. The inequity of it all. Darn it. I'm sorry to have missed that. I was working all day. Where was the game? Who won? Who is this?
Who even is this?
Are you watching this Rams AZFB game? Wow. Now this is some football. Boom.
Just the Simple says it all the time, right? You have this this sense of wonder about it. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. He always had a sense of maybe because he was on drugs. Who knows? But he had a sense.
Possible.
He had a sense of wonder about many things that he approached in life, including basketball. He was a well-versed expert in. I saw this one. Dirk tweeted this out from last night, but it was a profile of Bill Walton in The Athletic from a few years ago. Just a couple quotes on Nikola Jokic. Did you see these going around?
I have not.
He's a beautiful player who plays a mental game. He has what seems to have been lost in the world, which is peripheral vision. When you walk down the street in life, when you drive a car in life, when you ride a bike in the world on the street, it is staggering the lack of peripheral vision. But Nikola Jokic is the antidote to so many problems in our world.
Oh.
When you see someone like a Nelson Mandela or a Martin Luther King or a Mahatma Gandhi, someone who sees the future before anyone else does, knows how to get to where they need to be, where they want to be, that is Nikola Jokic. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. In a game that has been taken over by incessant dribbling for yourself, Nikola Jokic is such a breath of fresh air. And it's his imagination. Watching him play basketball is like watching Bob Dylan come up with a song.
Amazing.
I got two more. Are you interested?
Please.
He epitomizes Coach Wooden's most often repeated mantra to us, which was basketball, like life, is not a game of size and strength. It's a game of skill, timing, and positioning. It's not how big you are. It's how big you play. It's not how high you jump. It's where you are and when you jump. Nikola is a complete package of skill, timing, and positioning. But even more importantly, he has so many elements of Steve Nash in his game. With Steve, there's never been a player in my life who has elicited more awe and elicited more inspiration in terms of, oh my gosh, did you just see that? Nikola Jokic has a lot of that in him. When you watch Nikola play, you feel good about life. You feel good about the world. You believe that tomorrow is worth fighting for. That is the late, great Bill Walton.
That's high praise.
That's a guy who appreciates not just the things that, obviously the thing that we get blown away by in the NBA is the impressive athleticism and these guys' ability to, make however many jumpers in a row and dunk from the free throw line or jump 9, feet into the air off the ground or whatever it is. But yeah, I think he really got that. He really understood that. He was a little bit of that, obviously, in himself as well.
Ryan on YouTube.
Hey, Ryan on YouTube.
Fitting, he and the Pac-12 went out together.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
he never had to live in a world where the Pac-12 didn't exist in some form.
Never had to live in a world. I mean, so the Pac-12 baseball championship was Sunday, right? And he died yesterday, and that was the last I saw the send-off of like the Pac-12 and the guy who was like, hey, look, you played in the greatest conference of all time and stuff like that. Yeah,
Conference of Champions.
The Conference of Champions.
I just would recommend everyone attempt to live your life as your earnest self, like Bill Walton did. He was unashamed of who he was, and he played that out in front of all of us on TV. And it's sad to see him go. I mean, I saw one of one a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's an overused term, but that guy's different.
Bill Walton's probably the only reason I even know that the Grateful Dead exist. I don't think I've ever heard a Grateful Dead song. Who are these people and why do they have such a big following?
Well, Jerry Garcia died. He got an ice cream named after him. And now John Mayer's in the band.
John Mayer's in the Grateful Dead?
Yeah. Now,
who are these people?
People who are of music are going to probably
I don't care.
Fill in a lot of the lines there.
Go ahead. You tell me everything about these people. I have never heard a Grateful Dead song, but people go bonkers over this stuff. And Bill Walton was the Grateful Red, some called him. That's at least one of his nicknames on his Basketball Reference page, which I didn't know. Big Red, Grateful Red, Red Baron, Redwood Chief. That's what it has for him.
A lot of red jokes on there. Jeez, guys, come on.
I never knew him in a time where he had red hair.
But
I'm just a young baby boy. I didn't know anything about Bill Walton when he was, playing basketball or even, really even close to that. So yeah, sad news yesterday, but it's good advice, Josh. Live life with a sense of wonder, and like Bill Walton, who just approached everything like, oh my. And also the video of him eating the candle of the cupcake. Very, very good. I've enjoyed all the clips that I've seen over the last 24 hours. I really have.
Yes.
And that's why we're talking about it in such a positive light today, because I think that's kind of the mark that he left. We'll come back in the 11 o'clock hour. We'll jump into some Nebraska football stuff. Allan Bell's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Still have MLB reaction over reaction. It's plenty to come on a Tuesday in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Baseball, food, music, and entertainment. It's unlimited fun for all ages at Omaha Storm Chasers games. For the kids, there's the Centris Family Fun Zone. For adults, there's drink specials at the Bud Light Town Draft Bar. And on select Saturday pregame, there's live music for everyone. There's no better way to spend a summer day than with your Chasers family. Get your tickets today at OmahaStormChasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm, we're family.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. The odds makers with the lowest holds and the best odds for every tournament. Plus, high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get ready for all the biggest golf tournaments with Circa Sports Iowa. Visit circasports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
By the way, here, just following up on the Spencer Schwellenbach call to the big leagues.
Yeah, tell me everything. What do you got?
I don't have much. I have this for you, though. He is going to start tomorrow on the mound.
Yeah, they have been very impressed with him in Double-A.
And skip Triple-A.
Sure.
Didn't want to play for the Stripers.
Not so uncommon.
No.
Anymore.
No. And I would imagine that he's not up there for good.
No.
He's just probably making a spot start.
Yeah, spot start.
The rest worked out. And he's going up to pitch in the big leagues tomorrow against a kind of big league team, the Washington Nationals.
That big league team doubled up the Atlanta Braves yesterday, 8-4. The Braves have tried to do this thing where just like one day a week where they'll
stink up the joint.
Insert a different pitcher in there to kind of give the good pitchers, quote unquote, an extra day of rest to extend them throughout the season so they don't flame out in September.
Okay. I guess that's fair. We'll see if it works out for him without Ronnie. Did you hear, Josh, that Ronald Acuna is out for the season?
I have heard this. I don't like it.
That guy's got to work on his steps. He's gonna start learning how to step right.
Put so much torque.
He just seemed like he was just stepping.
Yeah.
Just stepping.
He planted a lot of people.
And you can't even blame turf.
No. A lot of people who watch these things closer than me have said that this season, he banged up a knee in spring training and they shelved him. And ever since he came back playing the field, he's been a little almost hesitant on the knee. So
you know what that leads to?
Blowing out your ACL when trying to run from second.
I'm sad. I'm sad. I'm genuinely sad about it. He's one of the most. He's probably the most electric player in baseball. And he missed 2021 right with the knee, and then wasn't all the way back in 22. Won the MVP in 23, and now hurt again in 24 and probably 25.
And
as well. And so
he has blown out both knees and he is 25 years old.
That's not good, Josh.
That is
not good for a guy who steals 70 bases a year.
Yes, he might not do that anymore. Now, he had been struggling this season.
Maybe it's because he did too many steps, and so in a short amount of time, and so he was bound to get his knee was bound to explode.
Only had so many steps in it.
Yeah, just like the pitchers, who pitch on Sundays and Wednesdays and Fridays. You never know. You never know.
To hear that news and then like 5 minutes later, see that Acuna tweeted out, "Sorry, broken heart emoji, crying eyes emoji." I'm just like, no, Ronnie, no.
This isn't on you.
You don't have to do that. Don't do that. And then his guys in the locker room, his teammates.
You know what I think it's time for, Josh?
What?
I think it's time for another Josh motivational tweet.
Oh.
You haven't done one of those in a while.
I haven't.
Come on, send out one of your tweets and say, "Come on, guys, you got this," or something like that.
You got this?
Just whatever you could cook up and say, "Ronnie, we got your back. We love you." We haven't seen one of those in a long time. What's up?
Well, didn't
think he was ready for it.
Haven't got a vibe on this team.
Okay.
Yet, a lot of his teammates have said, "Hey, the last time Ronald Acuna blew out his knee, we won the World Series for him.
Interesting.
Let's go ahead and do that again."
Okay.
To which I, an
Not gonna
Atlanta
fix
Braves
Ronnie's
fan,
knee.
would say, "Yes, go do that."
Yeah.
I would like that very
I guess
much.
it does kind of help fix Ronnie's knee a little bit. It helps ease the pain
happier.
anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So saw this over the weekend. We're going to get into a lot more of this week as we continue to get news on when, where, meaning what network Nebraska will be playing their football games this year. That's right.
Oh.
We're back into schedule talk.
Please.
Last week I had a crackpot dynamite theory that almost ended up being right. Well, that was pretty much right. It said Nebraska was going to home game on a Friday. I was right. Hashtag Connor was right. There was a story, a prediction from over the weekend.
Grumball?
Kind of a grumball in a way. Predicting the 2024 college football season TV schedule, weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Was it a Fong bomb?
From Scott Docterman and Stuart Mandel.
Okay.
of The Athletic.
Those guys are good too.
And I saw something. Now, this is content that is definitely geared toward me, but it's not necessarily content that would come up and say we'd go through it slot by slot on the show and talk about it. But I did see something that was interesting to me, and it made me think of a different thing. So, what Mr. Doctorman and Mr. Mandel have put the brain trust together and have decided for week 1 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers is that they will be playing, well, they'll be playing UTEP. They decided that a long time ago. But that game will be, according to this prediction, at 2:30 on CBS. And I was thinking to myself, that seems like a pretty nice little slot to land in week 1.
Absolutely.
And so then I felt like it was kind of interesting that Nebraska would be the CBS pick in week 1, even though the Big Ten schedule is quite weak. I had it pulled up. If you give me a second, I can pull it back up. But
usually is pretty weak.
It's week 1.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just the way it goes. And for some reason, we're on last year. So let's go to.
Yeah, you're gonna want this year's.
Yep, we're gonna want this year.
I can tell you last year's.
No, we don't need that.
Oh, okay.
So we already know that Minnesota, North Carolina is going to be on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We already know that Illinois and Eastern Illinois is going to be on Thursday. Did you know? Maybe you were just learning that just now.
I am just learning that now.
Okay. Other Big Ten games that week: Nebraska, UTEP, Indiana, FIU, Iowa, Illinois State, Maryland, UConn, Michigan State, FAU, Akron, Ohio State, Oregon, Idaho, West Virginia, Penn State, which I believe is already set for big noon that week.
That rings a bell.
I'm not 100% sure on that. And Fresno in Michigan is already set for NBC 6:00. You also have Northwestern, Miami, Ohio, Purdue, Indiana State, Wisconsin, Western Michigan, Washington, Weber State, and UCLA, Hawaii. Now, I don't know what's so much more attractive than of Nebraska UTEP compared to all the rest of those garbage ass games that I just gave you, Josh. I could think of one thing though that's a little bit different that game has. And then, by the way, you also have USC and LSU, which will be on the Sunday that week.
That's what LSU does.
I can think of one thing that is different. Chris, we're fixed. You're good. But I fixed it. No more concerns.
You weren't here, so I fixed it.
No more concerns.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for your service. It's appreciated. I like your shirt. In and out. Overrated. That's okay. All right. I can think of one thing that's different from Nebraska's game compared to all the rest of those games. Nebraska's game, Josh, has Dylan Raiola.
It
is different.
It does.
I wonder how big of a national TV draw Dylan Raiola will be in the first, several weeks of the season, especially as Nebraska's, I don't know if you've heard this either, Nebraska's first, 7 games are pretty light. We know that Nebraska is going to be on NBC the next week against Colorado, and we don't know any of the other ones, but here are the games. Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana, all leading up to Ohio State, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Iowa. All of those guaranteed will be kind of, those will be, I wouldn't guarantee, I guess, but those games will all likely be in one of the 3 main network slots, whether it's Big Noon, CBS Afternoon, or NBC Nighttime. Likely, most of those are going to be in those slots. I know there's a lot to contend with, but Nebraska, Ohio State would obviously draw a big number. Same with Nebraska, USC. Same with Nebraska, Wisconsin. And then Nebraska, Iowa, we don't know yet, but we'll find out, I'm sure, by the end of this week on when that game will take place. That's a one-off anyway. So we already know that the back half, basically, of Nebraska's schedule is going to be a big draw. What if they continue down the road? I mean, I think there's a certain level of intrigue of Dylan Raiola in Nebraska and that combination in week 1. Maybe that makes Nebraska an intriguing TV draw. Obviously, we know about Colorado already. I don't know so much about Northern Iowa. But what if they're 4-0, and then they're 5-0, and then they're 6-0, and then Nebraska continues to kind of gain some steam nationally? They turn into a team that people start kind of gravitating toward. I've heard about this Dylan Raiola guy, and I've known about Nebraska for a long time. As I said a week or two ago, I'm already pre-worried about the narrative that Dylan Raiola is single-handedly lifting Nebraska up as a program.
Oh, that's happening.
That will definitely happen. Whatever the narrative is, there's going to be eyes on Nebraska even in the first 7 weeks of the season when their schedule is garbage. That is my hypothesis, Josh. That is my grumball in a very vague way.
Yeah, I guess if every game is equally stinky, some people might drift over to the Nebraska game to see this Raiola kid.
Yeah. I think that's the draw, because like I said, you look at the rest of the games that week and you're like, why Nebraska UTEP for the CBS 2:30? Like, why not Michigan State and FAU? You know, like, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Why not Oregon and Idaho?
Tyler.
Why not Wisconsin and Western Michigan? And the rest of them I can answer probably, it's a little bit down. But I don't know. I was thinking about Nebraska early on in the season, and how they could be sort of a television product. And I don't know about the Northern Iowa game, but we obviously already know about the Colorado game, and I don't know. I don't now whether it's true or not. I don't know that Nebraska will be selected for CBS that first week against UTEP. That's just a prediction. But I was interested that they got kind of slotted in there by the prediction. Speaking of week 1, by the way.
Oh.
Have you heard that there is a book out there that has Nebraska as a 28-point favorite against UTEP? Josh, what's your gut say? What's your gut say on Nebraska UTEP? Nebraska minus 28, according to the Caesar Sportsbook.
Feels a little high.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would tend to agree. 4 touchdowns seems like a lot.
Given what I saw on the field last year, and I understand it's a different product.
Exactly. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting bridge to cross for Nebraska fans, because the expectation nationally is that Nebraska will not only have an exceedingly normal offense that doesn't turn the ball over every 10 seconds, it will in fact be good on offense. Because you don't get favored by 28 points if you're not good at offense. You have to score points. Iowa, I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know who they play in week 1. Illinois State. I can pretty much guarantee you they ain't going to be 28-point favorites. Maybe they will. Who knows? Illinois State is even a step down.
Yeah.
Right? From multiple steps down from UTEP. Interesting bridge that we'll have to cross, Josh. Interesting bridge that we'll have to cross. Because I think the expectation is not only that, and they're already touchdown favorites against Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The expectation is not only that Nebraska will be a reasonably good football team, is that they'll be interesting to watch because they have Dylan Raiola, and they have an offense that not only has a pulse, but gives them the ability to score, 28, 30 points a game, somewhere in that range. And certainly week 1 against UTEP. We got a couple. I get an email here from the Equitable Bank inbox. Here is Matt.
Hi, Matt.
He has his thought on the UNI game. You ready for the UNI game?
I'm ready for UNI takes.
UNI regularly beats Iowa State and are always close with Iowa. Don't sleep on them. They produce as many NFL players as Iowa and Iowa State. Don't sleep on them in terms of what?
Pulling out a dub?
Being
competitive.
Nebraska should win the game, just as Iowa should win the game, and just as Iowa State should win the game. Anything could happen, but yes, Nebraska should win. We're not going to do the overreaction to the watch out for that tough FCS opponent.
That's a week of topic.
Yes, exactly.
Week of.
Well, and
we'll say that a lot.
Somebody asked on the YouTube, Max.
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and address this right away. He says, just out of curiosity and anticipation, when did the Chunkies usually happen? I believe we've done the Chunkies on the same date in each of the 2 years we've done the Chunkies.
People are excited. 3rd annual Chunkies this summer.
Set your calendars. Let me check and make sure it's a day of the week that we're on air.
We will not come in on an off day and do this.
Perfect. I believe each of the first 2 versions of the Chunkies have taken place on August 16th.
Okay.
August 16th is a Friday.
Ooh. Chunkies on a Friday. Hello.
This year. Although I might be not here reasons.
It is a Friday in the summer.
Yes.
Maybe we push that up a little bit.
We'll see. We're going to play it by ear, but set the tentative calendar for August 16th.
Write it in pencil.
I would write it in pencil if I were you. But it's not now, and it's not anytime soon.
Right.
We gotta clear some hurdles before we get there. We got a long way to go before we start talking about the schedules in chunks.
Fall camp mainly.
Yeah, we don't even have to get to fall camp. That's something we can do in July. We really have it mapped out in July, but not May 28th. That's for sure. Doc writes in.
What's up, Doc?
He says, I think it's more that UTEP is really bad than that it's Nebraska being good. He's talking about the 28.
Fair.
I can't believe we're talking about this already.
It's here.
Sure, but you don't get to be a 28-point favorite if you don't. Like, they obviously think Nebraska's going to be able to score like 40 points in that game. That's unfathomable from last year.
I wouldn't know what I was watching.
Right. Like, think about it. You automatically give every team just like unless it's an Iowa game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You automatically give every team just like 2 touchdowns.
Where's the other?
If Nebraska's a 4-touchdown favorite, that means they think Nebraska's going to score like 35 points. So 42 points.
Yeah. Where's the other scores coming from?
Exactly.
UTEP did go 3-9 last year.
Text from the 402. If Nebraska doesn't beat UTEP by 28, cancel the season.
Whoa.
I agree. That's right. Bang it right away. It's time to start holding this program to some expectations.
Yesterday was Memorial Day. I'm already planning out Big Red overreaction calls.
Oh, it's the summer.
Game 1.
It's the summer, all right. It is indeed the summer.
It's only going to ratchet up, though, as we get closer to that game.
Just wait. All right, Allan Bell is coming up here on the other side. Many things to discuss with him. He has basically become our de facto college baseball guest. So we'll ask him about the bracket, what he thinks about it. Some betting tips along the way, potentially.
His poor Tennessee Volunteers, #1 overall seed. Won't be seeing them here.
Do you think, I don't think Allan's listening, so we could talk about this. Because Allan likes to say that he's going to come up here, but then doesn't. What do you think because he's going to tell us again that he's going to come up here. What do you think the odds are that we actually see Allan in his gigantic sunglasses at the Omaha Baseball Village in 2 weeks?
This is the best chance.
He's got a chance. He's got a different job now.
He's his own boss, more or less.
Yeah, he could do shows
on the road
remotely.
I'm still only putting it at about 45, 48%.
That's pretty good.
I'm not going over 50.
That's a good chunk.
Now, if Tennessee gets here, it might ratchet it up a bit.
We're just going to keep putting the bug in his ear.
Uh-huh.
He's like, hey, see you in a couple weeks.
We'll take care of you. We'll get you a studio. We'll get you whatever you need.
Oh, this is interesting. Yippee writes in on YouTube. He says, we want baseball. Says, you want us to talk baseball?
Interesting.
I got baseball things to say.
Interesting.
And we'll have plenty of baseball talk during the show today. We talked about it already for about 15 minutes earlier, but we will jump back into baseball as Nebraska gets ready to go for its regional opener on Friday against Jack Caglione and the team that should not have made the tournament, the Florida Gators. We'll talk about the field and all that other stuff as well. Who gets in, who doesn't get in.
Another classic Nebraska-Florida matchup coming your way.
And we'll talk about Nebraska's chances to get out of that thing.
Oh.
Do they have one? We'll find out later in the show. Allan Bell joins next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
You get a lot of junk in your inbox. This one, not junk at all. 1620 the email. Exclusive content, contests, other stuff probably. Subscribe today at 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
For your Tuesday afternoon, it's going to be another sunny, warm, but breezy afternoon with temperatures getting up near 80 degrees, but a northwest wind anywhere from 10 to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to start near 51 degrees, warming up to near 80 degrees, and hopefully a little less of a breeze. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Connor.
What's up?
So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC? Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start June 5th.
This is me at MCC.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Dingers, blasts, moonshots, well, whatever you call them. Everyone loves home runs. And with FanDuel's Dinger Tuesdays, you can love them even more. That's right. Dinger Tuesdays are back for another season, Nick, on America's #1 sports book.
Did you say Josh Naylor? Okay. Maybe just me. What about Mike Trout? Just bet on a player to homer. FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit during that game. And as if you needed another reason to love the long ball, right? Visit FanDuel.com. Use the promo code ZONE to get in on all the Dinger Tuesday action. That's FanDuel.com/zone. That's FanDuel. Making every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Max bonus, $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. Loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Allan Bell, the AB3, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Okay, let's have a moment and chat with our good friend Allan Bell, driving the line, the AB3 with us on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. AB, hello, how are you?
Good, sir. You doing okay?
Very good. Yes, I wanted to tell you this story. So, Saturday, I was down at the Nebraska baseball game at the Big Ten tournament, and it was also my birthday. And
nice.
So
happy belated.
Thank you. I appreciate this. And those of you who are listening to the show, you know that I take lunch very seriously. And I try to not, miss out on an opportunity for a good lunch. And I didn't really know what I was going to do that day. And what I ended up doing, just kind of on a whim, was stopping and grabbing Arby's on my way home. Nice. And so that's what I had for my birthday lunch. And I have to tell you, I was so pleased. I was very happy with my decision. Some people might look at me and they might say, Arby's, what are you doing? Don't you want to sit down and have a nice burger somewhere? No, I'm good. Give me a roast beef sandwich with a little Arby's sauce and some curly fries and 4 mozzarella sticks, and I'm a happy man.
Dude, that is an excellent meal. Look, I'm with you. And I think we've talked about Arby's on the show before. Their quality is fantastic. You always get fresh, curly fries, right? They're always good to go. Roast beef, and cheddar. Their zeros are really good as well. And the mozzarella sticks, fine choice. Now, here's the question. What did you get to drink? I'm a root beer guy myself. So what did you do?
I stray away from the root beer, Allan. I'm not a root beer guy.
He's got takes on it.
I don't like root beer very much. That could be a whole side conversation. I just got a Diet Coke.
Yep. Okay. All right. Diet Coke. Well done. Look, we can save the root beer cake. That's for the podcast. That's for the premium afterward, right?
Exactly.
No, Diet Coke, solid choice. And, Arby's. I mean, I'm a fan of Arby's. I like what they do. You can hammer down on some Arby's, and also their dessert, the cherry turnovers, money, dude. Arby's is they're a 4-star organization, right?
I never think about them. I really should think about them more. And I was happy that I just happened to pass one on my way home on Saturday. So
So you did with Arby's sauce, all right? So no horsey sauce.
What's the difference? What is horsey sauce? Josh, do we know what horsey sauce is?
Horsey is horseradish. Arby's sauce is barbecue sauce.
Correct. Yep. Horsey sauce is it's their horseradish. It's a little different than, what you get in the store. It's a little creamier, right? It's almost like, you get potato salad. It's mayo based.
Right.
That's kind of what it is.
Arby's sauce isn't barbecue. It's it's almost
tangy.
It's tangy. It's almost like a steaks, almost like an A1 kind of deal.
It's just a pepper sauce. Yeah, I agree.
Pepper sauce. Yes. I love that. I put that all over, and then I just slam the soft roast beef bun right back down. And then I just it looks amazing. You bite into it. It's just a giant pile of thinly sliced roast beef. I feel like I'm doing an Arby's commercial right now, but it's great.
And dude, I know. You guys. So you went straight roast beef. You didn't go cheddar.
I didn't do any cheddar. I didn't do the cheddar roast beef. I just got that roast beef. I did a double, but I just got a regular roast beef.
Double. That's a great call. That's a professional move right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep. I needed some backup on that one. All right, so we got a college baseball bracket in our hands right now. What do you as you've kind of perused and looked as it was released yesterday? Obviously, your Vols are the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. By the way, sneaky here, Allan. Maybe we could start here. They kind of need to. I don't know. It's tough to say that a team needs to win a national championship, but they've been on this stage now for a few years, and it feels like they kind of need to bust that door down and have some success in Omaha.
Yeah, no, I agree. So it's getting close to excuse me, put up or shut up time. Because this is 2 out of the last 3 years now that they've come in as the number 1 overall seed, right? I agree with you. Now, this team can absolutely do it. They are just well-rounded everywhere. The problem, which this could be a big problem, they're not terribly deep pitching. They've got great pitching, but if you get to Tennessee with the bats, and they get to the pen early, it could be trouble. And they've got a sneaky, difficult road here. If they win their regional. Yeah, you got Wake Forest down there. Got some interesting teams. Now, how do we feel about Nebraska? Like, I think that they're a sneaky good bet to win their regional. I think it's like plus 320 or somewhere around there. Not bad, man.
I think they got kind of, believe it or not, I don't think Florida probably should have made the tournament, but they did.
No.
And the problem is they're good, and they just didn't have the resume that really set it. And so I think you have like a really balanced 1, 2, 3 in Stillwater with Oklahoma State, Nebraska, and Florida. And then the winner of that is matched up with the Clemson regional, which is kind of balanced there too. Clemson, Vanderbilt, and Coastal Carolina. Like, I wonder if you had odds one of those 6, likely it's really one of the 8. Sorry, High Point and Niagara, but like one of those 8 is going to be in the College World Series. And if you kind of spread it out odds wise, I can't imagine that nobody would be like a minus. Nobody would be the favorite. Nobody would be like a minus money favorite out of that group, which I feel like is good news. Although it'll be tough to win the requisite amount of games to get out of the regional, it's not so stacked that you feel like there's a dead end when you look ahead a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. Right. Like this is a very if someone were a fan and they're just looking at it like this, like the entire regional system of how like the brackets have they done it this year, like there's a lot of those. Right? Like there's a couple where the team that's hosting the regional is not even the favorite to win it.
Yeah.
Right. Look at Oklahoma. Duke's the favorite to win that one, right? So it's going to be tough, man. Like, we're going to see some top 16 seeds. They get knocked out regional-wise, and we do every year. But, yeah, man, like, I'm with you. Like, those 6 teams that you just listed right there, they all of them have a great shot to get Omaha. And the fascinating part is they all go about their game differently, right? Like, Coastal Carolina is hitting. Like, their pitching stinks, but it's tough to beat a team that can put up 17 runs, right? Like, you've got Vanderbilt in there, as you just mentioned. Balanced team. Don't score a ton, but they're just a well-managed, team of dudes. Clemson, kind of the same way. Very good. Clemson does not beat themselves. You're going to have to beat them. Same as kind of Virginia up there, right? And then Nebraska, man. Like, Nebraska has been solid all year long. Now, we look at, like, conference tournaments, and this is the way across all of them. Run scoring was way down. And I mean, I'm not talking about like just the Big Ten. The SEC was way down. There were only maybe 2 or 3 overs the entire time that hit. So I'm fascinated to see, do we see pitching dominate or hitting dominate, once the regional starts out?
Yeah, my kind of operating theory here because I think, and this is the case every year, but once you get toward the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 national seeds or, the regional hosts. And then you blur the line in between the top 2s, and sometimes like if you're Kentucky, you're the 2 seed overall and you get Indiana State. That's bad news for Kentucky and it's bad news for Indiana State because it makes it really tough in there. But I feel like there's this kind of, there's not a lot of differentiating pieces outside of the hosting part between the bottom 1s and the top 2s. And I guess my operating theory is that we could get some chaos out of this weekend. I think we could see some 2s and 3s in super regionals and some places where, we could have some super regionals, Allan, in places that didn't even host regionals. I think that would be that would be my prediction, I guess, for super weekend.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're exactly right. And, what I also love is, when you have these tournaments, that go on, regional, super regionals, like, I'm fascinated to see which teams, because Notre Dame put Tennessee out in super regionals 2 years ago by, going with, on Friday night, they threw their number 2.
Yep.
Right? And then they saved their ace for the next day. Like, I guarantee we're going to see teams that do that saying, all right, I think we could take High Point out here with our number 2. And if we can jump on them and then the number 1, buddy, we are sitting pretty. Like, I love the strategy that goes into this. And you're right, man. Like, there's so much parity. And let me say, like, just using Tennessee as the example, yes, number 1 team overall, dude, they could get beat in their regional. Honestly, there are so many teams in college baseball, blue bloods all the way down, that can whoop you. Well, you know what I mean? Like, baseball is fun that way. There's a lot of talent everywhere. I'm with you, man. I think we do see chaos, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun weekend of regional play and whatever we get out of it and whatever we end up with in the super regional weekend. And as always, it'll be a fun field in a little more than 2 weeks when they all get here to into Omaha. Allan, any thoughts on how it feels like both of these NBA series are going to be sweeps here, and then we have like an entire week to just sit around and do nothing until the NBA finals start?
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? Like, we're going to sit for 9 days, and it starts till June 6th. It's OT day. Yeah. So, all right. Respect on that one. Now, like, I'm fascinated with, because NBA media is like, they're going to have to come up with storylines. Let's just assume Dallas and Boston. Is it going to be the Kyrie versus Boston? Is that going to be like, the if it bleeds,
definitely
1A story?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's crazy. Like, I expected it in the East. I didn't expect Minnesota to just get whooped. Like, this is completely surprising.
I agree.
Dallas is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and they've won a few close games so far, and I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Celtics right now for the finals are minus 220. The Mavs are plus 190, and then the Timberwolves are in at plus 3,200. But we'll see what happens after tonight. AB, always good to chat, my friend. We look forward to good luck on. I mean, by the way, have you tapped into any betting angles for the weekend for college baseball, or what are you thinking there?
Yeah. So, man, first up again, man, appreciate you guys having me back every week. I love it. Like, I've started to bet a couple of regionals now, right? Like, I took Clemson. I took Florida State to win their regionals, like minus 110. I bet that number goes way up. And NC State on the upset there. So, yeah, got 3 so far, and then we'll bet, game by game. Get there.
Excellent. Allan, appreciate it. See you later.
Thanks. See you, bud.
Allan Bell of Driving the Line and of the AB3. I'm looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the moment. The current favorite to win the World Series of College Baseball is the Tennessee Volunteers at plus 550.
Okay.
Texas A&M plus 600. Kentucky plus 1,000. Arkansas plus 1,000. North Carolina and Wake Forest 1,600.
Wow, Kentucky has third best odds. Huh?
Kentucky has third best odds. That's another team that haven't really punched through. East Carolina haven't really punched through.
And we sort of figured like, oh, you're hosting a regional
for East Carolina,
for Kentucky.
Oh, for Kentucky. Well, I mean, they're the number 2 overall seed.
Oh, maybe I must be thinking of someone else then. I'm
maybe
sorry.
you are.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. They're the number. They ended up getting the number 2 overall seed in the country.
They deserve to host a regional.
Well, Indiana State. I mean, that's the case for Indiana State, and East Carolina ended up getting that last one.
Okay.
And the thought process is, we could touch on this a little bit later. East Carolina had a man on the committee.
A man in the room.
Florida had a man on the committee. Believe Indiana had a man on the committee. These are all either bubble teams or teams that were on the host line, kind of. No word on if Duke had a man on the committee, or I wondered. By the way, as that thing was developing, obviously the favorite, if it wasn't going to be College Station, the place that Nebraska was probably going to end up was going to be Stillwater. But I did wonder if there would be enough teams with those 3 West regionals to send Nebraska westward ho. Because, I mean, there's the problem is that, like, in Corvallis, Yeah, it's a strong 1 and a strong 2. Like Oregon State, UC Irvine, bang bang, you did it that way. In Santa Barbara, they gave it to US San Diego. And then the other West Regional was Tucson, and the 2 in that one went to Dallas Baptist. And I wondered if that might be a spot for Nebraska. I wondered if there would just be enough teams out west to fill up those 1s and 2s, because Nebraska wasn't going to be a 3.
While we're like right here on this, what do you think this should be a seated like the basketball tournament?
No.
Or
no.
But
No.
there's let me explain what I mean by that. There's a clamoring for.
I know. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Well, every time the tournament bracket comes out, there's a clamoring for something.
Stop regionalizing this. If
this is great,
if
this is perfect.
If Grand Canyon has to go play in Brooklyn, then so be it.
It is an inexact science. All right. Somebody's going to be sad.
1 through 64, seed them, baby.
And I think the difficult part that we have with baseball is that it does seem to be a bit of a moving target. And we how much does RPI matter, or KPI, or the predictive metrics and all that stuff? How much does your schedule matter? They say it matters so much with the northern schools, and then a northern school goes off and plays a great schedule and they don't get to host. Like, how, if you are a northern school, how do you get to host? Well, you play a really good schedule. Okay, we'll do that and we'll win all those games. Do we get to host now? No. Indiana State had that case. Nebraska had a sliver of that case, probably as well. And tough news for Indiana State is they got caught up in the regional game, and they slapped them with Kentucky. They have a chance to get out of that, just as everybody else does.
And as we've done the research already, we know Indiana State will not be able to host a super regional.
I like that it's like this. I like how it's unique. I like it's almost sort of like pure and untouched in a way, right? Like I think you get wackiness, chaos. You don't all the time get the best 8 teams in the country in Omaha. You don't all the time.
Very often you don't
get the best 16 teams on super regional weekend as well. Like you don't. That's fine. It's a sport that is geared toward the tournament. It is a sport that is geared toward this. And I'm fine with, while I think they could be more transparent about the selection process in general, I don't think we need to uproot and change the tournament from a fundamental standpoint. We do this every single year. Every year. What? What was that? Somebody got left out of the NCAA basketball tournament? Now we have to let 900 teams in. What was that? Somebody got left out of the baseball tournament? Why don't we expand one more weekend?
No, we don't need to do that. I'm not asking for that.
Frankly, everybody's got an opportunity to win their conference tournament, and that's the way you get yourself in. Especially if you're a northern school, if you're in one of the non-power conferences, which is just basically the SEC and the ACC in baseball. And I guess kind of the Pac-12. By the way, the Big Ten, I don't want to say this if it's not 100% accurate. The Big Ten, I believe, was the 4th best RPI conference this year.
3 teams in, makes sense.
Indiana was right there on the bubble. Illinois was kind of, bubble-ish as well, bubble adjacent.
Bubblicious.
And Nebraska had a case the entire way, and then they just went off and won the Big Ten tournament, and they left no doubt. You could do that. That is an option for you.
People forget.
So no, I don't know. Call me old school, whatever. I don't need to mess with it. I don't think. I'm good.
I genuinely don't know how I feel, so I just wanted your opinion.
I would like them to be a little bit more transparent with the selection process and the criteria that is used and the conversations in the room and stuff like that. Like tell us definitively what matters and what doesn't, so these teams can get a better idea of how to schedule and get a better idea of what they need to do to put themselves in the best position. Then it's on them. Now, even if you do that, somebody's still going to be team 69 or 65.
Nice.
Right? Somebody's still going to be team 65.
Absolutely.
And so there's only so much you could do.
Let's get some answers, Schick. Come on.
Yeah. Enough with the drops on national television.
Yeah. Hold some feet to the fire, Shicky baby. I'm really just
that one didn't make it out like you thought it would have.
I'm just trying to get someone to send a clip to those guys so that our show does numbers.
Josh, jeez. All right, we'll take a timeout. The odd news is next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
Yu Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in the old market right off of Jackson Street and also in Benson right next to Taste of New Orleans. You know, one of the toughest things about the summer is trying to figure out what you're going to do with the kids, right? You got to fill some time. It's a great time to go visit either one of the Ted and Wally's locations. Your kids are going to love getting some ice cream. You're going to love getting out of the house. It is a win-win for both of you. So whether you're going downtown and checking out the old market and getting you some ice cream or going to Benson and getting some Taste of New Orleans, stop by and tell them Severe sent you.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
How powerful is Cox Fiber? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Omaha jam like you're all in the same garage. Introducing Cox Fiber, from the company with the fastest download speeds 9 years in a row. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Limited availability in select areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence in Las Vegas, Omaha, Phoenix. Fixed median download speeds Q2 2016 to Q1 2024.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball. Proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, a couple things here before we get to the odd news.
Please.
Number one, they keep showing this thing in baseball circles in this stupid high school game where the center fielder got the ball in medium range center field and then tagged out the runner at home plate.
Just ran all the way home.
It is certainly a baseball oddity. That is for sure. And we got a guy breaking it down on MLB Network. Brian Kennedy seems triggered that he's talking about this right now.
There's no analytics
And
in this play.
I am too. The kid could have thrown it to any soul, anybody, anywhere. That's what you're supposed to do as an outfielder. You just throw it in. It doesn't matter where it goes. Just throw it in. Just make sure it hits somebody, and then that person can make the decision on where the ball goes next. And then he could have ran and tagged the guy out. But no. Instead, what the idiot center fielder tried to do was run the guy down all the way from center field. And I will say, successfully did tag the runner out at home plate. He did do that.
Well, that's why we're talking.
But it's not impressive in any way, shape, or form.
No. Even if your teammates are terrible, like you play for a terrible team and you're the best player on your team.
I don't know what anyone in that video was doing.
Like,
what was anyone doing?
Literally just throw the ball. Even if it bounces and it skips around, you still got a better shot.
Baseball, I don't know how these kids, it seemed like high school, right? Like they had a score bug up there and everything, like a high school playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Why was nobody covering any base? The catcher was in the vicinity of third base. What was he doing there?
Not a clue.
Somebody's got to cover the base. You have an extra player on the infield to cover all the bases. You could cover, and you don't need to cover first because he's already past there.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time he gets past second, you don't need to cover second either. You got 6 guys to cover 2 spots. The center fielder should never have to tag the guy out at home.
Terrible coaching, if you ask me.
Second thing.
Oh.
The SEC meetings are starting today in Destin, Florida.
Destin.
So get ready to start to see coaches' bare feet.
Oh yeah.
But they're starting to do media for these. I just thought these were behind closed door meetings between coaches and administrators.
But all the scribes get in, and it's like, hey,
why do we let the scribes in? Leave the scribes at home.
Because it's not actually a closed door thing. Like the meetings are closed door, but it is very much, hey, can you get a story about our conference in the news? So we just, generate some pub for the conference. It's great. Why don't everybody ask Billy Napier what he thinks of this lawsuit?
Okay. Now, if you're Greg Sankey, yeah, you want your conference in the news cycle at all times. That's why Greg Sankey's doing takes now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having all of his, coaches and administrators at the conference level just, talk to reporters. We don't have to have a SEC Media Days Junior. We do not have to do this in Destin, Florida. But whatever floats your boat, I guess. The Big Ten would never. No, the Big Ten would definitely never, Josh. This will never happen. The Big Ten meetings where the media can go and they do press conferences will never happen. Put it on the list.
Ooh.
Get the eggs.
I'm just saying, if Jack Links will sponsor it, they'll do it.
It's not Jack Links, okay? It's Old Trapper.
That you're right.
Give me a break.
I'm sorry. I retract my statement.
I say this as a person who experienced a few games of the Big Ten baseball tournament this weekend, and it is definitely Old Trapper. All right, Josh, what do we have today?
We have an update from the NCAA Baseball Championship Selection Special that aired yesterday. Did you see this? Have you heard about this?
I did.
The Kansas State Wildcats often get the little sibling treatment compared to the big brother Kansas Jayhawks.
Oh, I knew this was going to rub some people the wrong way.
And ESPN unveiled the Field of 64 that gets underway Friday with 16 double elimination regionals. Among the schools hoping to hear their names were Kansas and Kansas State. The Jayhawks finished 31-23 and reached the semis of the Big 12 tournament. It's very bubblish. Meanwhile, the Wildcats appeared to be a lock to make the tournament, but their destination was unclear. ESPN started announcing the Fayetteville region by showing Arkansas would play host and take on Southeast Missouri in the first game. And then it was Kansas State's turn. However, as soon as the camera switched to the live shot of the Wildcat players celebrating, the Kansas Jayhawks name and logo appeared in front of them.
Yes.
Very awkward.
Yes.
I don't think Kansas made the tournament.
They did not, Josh. That is the tough part about this. By the way, I thought, so first of all, I saw that and I was like, ooh, and they ripped it down immediately. It was up there for no more than 2.5 seconds, but it was up there long enough to confuse people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kansas had thought they made the tournament. So they unveiled so what they do by regional, they go to the Fayetteville regional. I'm like, I'm rubbing my hands together already. Because by this time, Nebraska hadn't been announced yet. Arkansas is there. Southeast Missouri State, which is coached by former Husker Andy Sawyers. And then they announced K-State, and I go, this is Nebraska. Lock it.
Got the vibes.
Absolutely lock it in. This is Nebraska. There's history with Kansas State. There's history with SEMO. There's history with Arkansas. Done. And so I was shocked to see Louisiana Tech be the 2 seed in that regional when they announced it. I was like, wow, they're not sending them to Fayetteville. They just figured they couldn't do it twice in 4 years, or I guess whatever it is. I thought for sure that was going to be it. But other than that, I do like the show. And ESPN, they do around this time of year, they do a great job with college baseball. Like the squeeze play thing for regional this weekend is incredible television. And those guys, they found the right guys who like know baseball.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they've stuck with them. There's no like, hey, we're gonna bring in Brian Windhorst, so we're gonna have him talk about college baseball.
Right.
No.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith, what's your takes on college baseball?
Yeah, these guys have been covering it all year long. Now, a lot of them for other publications and other places.
Sure.
That's fine. Whatever. They're experts. They know what they're talking about.
I mean, there's, 16 regional sites, and they find 16 play-by-play guys to broadcast this thing on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, well, there's that, but more so the studio crew.
Sure.
Those guys are good. I cannot speak to all of the broadcast crews of the regionals.
I imagine we will find some flaws with some of them, but
yes.
There are 16 warm bodies to do play-by-play and 16 even warmer bodies to do color commentary.
Even warmer.
That's right. Connor, sad news out of Kentucky over the weekend. Henry Earl, whose criminal history included more than 1,500 arrests, passed away. He was 74 years young. He is cheekily dubbed the world's most arrested man.
Wow, cool.
For the last several years of his life, he was at a nursing home in Owenton, Kentucky, just 50 miles outside of Lexington. Earl was regularly collared for public order crimes fueled by alcohol and booked into the Fayette County Detention Center in Lexington. When TSG stopped counting, I don't quite know what TSG is, but it doesn't matter. Earl had spent a staggering 6,000 days in the county lockup for offenses like public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and according to jail records, he would usually spend several days behind bars before being released back into the Lexington streets, where the 5'4" local celebrity was affectionately known as James Brown.
Why did they call him that?
I don't know. James Brown was arrested once and let back out, wasn't he?
That's a weird nickname.
Do better.
Yeah.
Do a better nickname.
They could have called him Jimmy In-N-Out. Jimmy In-N-Out, like on Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
the guy who will go to prison for you for a small fee.
That's right.
I pulled up the Wikipedia page of Jimmy In-N-Out from Breaking Bad. James Kilkelly spent 44 of his 58 years in prison at city, state, and federal levels. According to his criminal record, he had been arrested for stealing a vending machine, breaking and entering, grand theft auto, and armed robbery, as well as 2 undisclosed charges in 87 and 92. He also made a profit from going to jail for other people's crimes, hence his nickname, Jimmy In-N-Out.
I forgot about Jimmy In-N-Out. Shame on me.
Yeah, classic move. Classic move. That's like this guy.
Finally,
has anybody thought about that? He might be Jimmy In-N-Out. He might be going to jail for people.
I hadn't thought of that. Finally, we end the odd news today in Florida, where a Florida woman was arrested Tuesday night after striking a man in the neck with a cinnamon roll. Cops say Anne Marie Luna, 37 years young, chucked the food item at the back of the 49-year-old victim's head, striking him at the base of the neck. The cinnamon roll incident occurred at a transitional housing facility in St. Petersburg. You know,
is that what they call them now?
Yeah, we're reading more and more stories out of St. Petersburg, by the way.
A lot of stuff going on in Florida, Josh. A lot of cities in Florida.
An arrest affidavit does not reveal a motive for the cinnamon roll attack, which was recorded by security cameras. After being read her rights, Luna reportedly admitted to tossing the delicacy because why would you not? Why would you hide it? I threw a cinnamon roll at the guy. What's the big deal?
I think it'd be hard to hide it.
Sure. The affidavit indicates that
frosting all over your fingers.
No weapon was seized by investigators. The victim was not injured, but wishes prosecution, police noted.
They did not seize the weapon?
Yeah.
Meaning
the cinnamon roll
is still unaccounted for?
I imagine it was on the ground somewhere and they said, yeah, that's fine. We don't need to, we don't need to do the chalk outline here. We don't need to
Would you eat
caution tape.
Would you eat a cinnamon roll if somebody threw it at you, like in disgust?
Yeah.
If somebody threw a cinnamon roll at me, I don't think it would matter the context and why they were throwing it at me. I would probably eat the cinnamon roll.
I don't need the circular structure to be intact.
In some cases it's better deconstructed.
Yeah, if it unrolls, that's fine.
You can really get to the middle there. Everybody loves the middle.
It's the best part
of the cinnamon roll. Sometimes it's hard to cut through the outsides. Yeah, maybe you get through a little bit of the fluff. Somebody try and throw a cinnamon roll at my neck. See what happens.
Great. People are going to be walking by the Omaha Baseball Village hucking cinnamon rolls at us.
Would you be sad about it?
You know what? I guess I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I think that'd be great. If that was the bit of the College World Series,
that would be a great
people
bit.
Came by and started throwing cinnamon rolls at us. I'd be very happy about that, actually.
YouTube user on YouTube asks, hi, YouTube user. Even if the cinnamon roll hit the ground?
Yeah. You guys know my stuff on this. Like, it's okay.
That's not really the
now. It depends on where the ground is, I suppose. How long it was on the ground? Did somebody step on it? What, like all of that stuff. But if it's just off the guy's hand, off my neck, onto the ground briefly, I'm uninjured. I'm gonna go to the ground and pick up the cinnamon roll if it looks good.
I would imagine the transitional housing facility is kept pretty clean.
Those are well-run organizations. Usually,
they want everybody's got a job in the house. You want everybody's got chores to do.
Yeah, I'd eat. I'd eat it. Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the odd news. We'll be back. The noon hour is coming up. We will dive more into, of course, Nebraska baseball's big weekend. We have MLB reaction, overreaction coming up, and a local story that I didn't hear about. A local story that I did not hear about. I was kind of off the grid a little bit, catching up here and there with some stuff, getting in Twitter arguments with people over the weekend. But I did not hear about this.
Allow me to inform you.
It involves a famous celebrity. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Going on now, receive 2.9% APR for 72 months on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Or save up to $2,000 off MSRP with retail customer cash on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. With approved credit, $299 dock fee due at signing. Offer expires July 8, 2024. See dealer for details.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I got a tweet here from Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I think you need to clarify you're talking about baked cinnamon rolls and not the Pillsbury canister of cinnamon rolls chucked at you. I don't want the canister chucked at me.
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't want the canister. But I am interested in the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls inside of the canister. I have talked about those very cinnamon rolls on the show today, and I believe that they are good.
Yeah, I agree. We make them virtually every weekend at Casa de Odson.
Nice. Nice. Did you have a couple before you went to the park over the weekend?
Yeah, I think I did.
Nice.
Actually. Didn't want to be late, though.
No, cannot be late to the park.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Didn't know that was a thing until this weekend.
Quick story, Josh, out of Canada.
Oh,
this is about this is a baseball game between the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers and another team.
The Royals
in a league that I have no idea what's going on here in this Canadian baseball league. But the story here is that the public address announcer, Jeff Hopman,
heard they recently added more Hopman.
He was ejected.
Tossed.
Why would a public address announcer get ejected from a baseball game?
Hot mic issue?
Yeah. Did he say the F word?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say the F word. If that's the case, he probably wouldn't be around long enough to get actually ejected from the baseball game. He'd probably just get fired, ejected from his job by the people who run the deal. But no, it was not a crime like that. His crime, just like he had done in the previous 3 home games, used a sound clip of someone saying, bruh, after a questionable ball strike call at home plate. The umpire turned around and ejected public address announcer Jeff Hopman for playing the sound clip, bruh.
Bruh. What are we doing?
Bruh. We play bruh at Werner Park all the time, by the way, just for the record.
You know, people play Three Blind Mice.
No, people do not. Lambert Bartek did that once and got tossed back in, I don't know, probably the 1700s or something like that. That's the famous one with Lambert Bartek. May he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
But yes, he did play Three Blind Mice. He was tossed. Was he rightfully tossed? Up for debate.
I don't think it is.
Okay. Embrace debate, Josh. He says it's not a good thing that
soft ass umpires.
Mascots have been tossed before.
Yes.
This is the official rule of baseball, Rule 8-01D.
You're serious.
Grants umpires the discretion to eject any participant for objecting to decisions or for unsportsmanlike conduct or language. Is the public address announcer a participant in the game? That can be up for debate. Is he an important person? Maybe not so much in baseball.
Mm-hmm. I always think it's a funny bit when the ump, like, hey, you're in between innings, the ump walks up to the mascot and they get in each other's face, and the ump jokingly tosses the mascot. I always think that's a funny bit.
Me too.
But when they do
that
it
happened,
for real,
that happened with Tommy Lasorda, right? So Tommy Lasorda wanted the Expos mascot to get tossed out of the game. It's actually okay. So in the early 1990s, ump Bob Davison once tossed Youppi, the Expos mascot, in a game against the Dodgers because Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda didn't want Youppi to stand on top of the Dodger dugout. At Tommy Lasorda's request, they tossed Youppi out of the game.
Youppi.
I don't need to be tossing I don't need to be tossing public address announcers. We don't need to start down that road. That's for sure. And I don't mind playing the sound clip of bruh. It's what all your fans are thinking. Bruh.
You got to have a little thicker skin. I mean, there's probably people in the crowd yelling things at you.
Ryan YouTube comments into the show.
Hi, Ryan.
Says that umpire is actually Angel Hernandez's son. Yeah. We'll have some time to talk about Angel. Maybe now is the time.
I don't know.
We just go right in.
We are talking about umpires.
Yeah, maybe now is the time.
Seems to make sense.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of which, Angel Hernandez surprisingly announced yesterday that he would be retiring. Well, actually, it was announced for him that he'd be retiring.
That's the best part.
Effective
it was announced
immediately.
For him.
Interesting. So let me give you a little background here. Angel Hernandez is probably the most famous umpire that we have right now.
Now the Cowboy Joe West is out of the game.
That's right. And Jim Joyce is no longer umping either.
I took that game away from him.
Yep. He had that one moment, and that was kind of it. Or Don Denkinger is no longer with us. So Angel Hernandez is probably the most famous guy we have at this point. Let me tell you a little something about Angel Hernandez, right? Angel Hernandez umped in Major League Baseball starting in 1991. He's been a Major League umpire longer than I have been alive on planet Earth. And every single generation of players that come through say, this guy sucks. This guy is not good. And you guys should either remove him or stop him from getting these important games or stop him from getting games altogether. This has happened not just now. We like to think it's just now because this is one of the things that we as like a generation of people do. Like we pretend that things that happened 20 years ago didn't actually exist. I'm probably guilty of it sometimes. Certainly, we have recency bias and things like that. But make no mistake, Angel Hernandez has been bad at this for as long as he has been a Major League umpire. How he got to this point, I have no idea. But I frankly think that it's impressive that Angel Hernandez was in Major League Baseball for more than 30 years, all the while being horrible at his job. And
this is not opinion.
Yes, correct.
We've
This is fact.
We've reached unanimity on this.
Nice. Good job.
I don't know if that's a word.
And not only was he bad at his job, he was also involved in several controversial incidents that were like on the peripheral of actual baseball. And he's had some terrible like moments, in big moments too. Like maybe you can go under the radar just being a bad umpire for all that time, as long as it's not in too noteworthy of a spot. He has also not checked that box. he's had some bad calls in noteworthy spots.
He has an incidents section of his Wikipedia page that is 7 paragraphs long.
I just think it's impressive that he was so bad for that long. And this is not like people think I'm bad. All right. I'm bad, but I'm also not Stephen A. Smith. Like you could think I'm bad, but I don't hold the top spot in sports, right? Like I'm not in the major leagues. I try to approach it every day like I am in the major leagues, Josh, but I'm not in the major leagues. And so there's a certain amount of job security that comes with that. I probably am not going to be replaced. Maybe I shouldn't speak before these things come to fruition, but like I'm doing fine, and we're going to keep it up.
Confidence.
Our ratings are good. We are doing fine.
You hear that, everybody? Our ratings are good.
They are proportionately normal. All right, but I'm not in the major leagues. Angel Hernandez was bad at his job for 30 plus years, according to everybody, and was in the major leagues. There are people who could have replaced him at every single turn, whether it's in a 5-year period, a 1-year period, after he makes a bad call, after Kyle Schwarber throws his helmet at him, like whatever it might have been. There have been many people who have been capable of replacing Angel Hernandez throughout this time. Because why, Josh? He's in the big leagues. If you hit 100 for a year in the big leagues, you're going to get replaced. You're probably not going to be back the next year. If you hit 100 for 2 years straight, there's no chance that you survive the third. If you somehow hit 100 for 30 years, it's the most impressive feat of all time. So today, I'd like to congratulate Angel Hernandez on his long run in Major League Baseball of somehow being the worst umpire for many generations of baseball players. Hats off to you, Angel. What a run.
Congrats. We now need, because this is an immediate retirement.
Yes.
We need to appoint, baseball's lost John Sterling and Angel Hernandez this season, by the way. And it's Memorial Day yesterday. We need to now appoint a new worst umpire in Major League Baseball, and I don't have a name. I don't have a candidate. I don't have a short list.
Oh, I think you could, you could come up with some. You've heard of umpires, but you've heard of some of these.
There's a few that if I heard the name, I would go, oh yeah, that guy sucks.
Have you ever heard of C.B. Buckner?
Yep, that guy sucks.
Yeah. He's next. Now, he is not nearly as bad as Angel Hernandez. But now, unfortunately, we're going to have to pay attention to C.B. Buckner all the time to see what bad things he does.
I have what I think will be viewed as a hot take.
Laz Diaz, that's a good one too, by the way, Kenneth.
You need Angel Hernandez. You want
Angel
Hernandez because we're going to go to Connor, it's going to happen. We're going to go to robo-umps at some...
Oh, I have things to say about this,
At some point.
I have things to say about this.
And you're going to long for the human element. You're going to long...
No.
You're going to long
This is...
for an Angel Hernandez to yell at because your team didn't get a hit in the 9th inning.
Okay, now, Josh, there's a difference between the human element and the angel element. These are two different things. What Angel Hernandez provides us is a level of human error that is probably pretty unacceptable. I love human error. Josh, you're playing in my emotions right now.
I am.
I love it. We're going to talk about robo-umps in the next segment when we get to MLB reaction overreaction.
Ooh.
But what Angel Hernandez provided us with for many, many years, for decades, is greater than the human error, in my opinion. So do not play with my emotions that way. Do not try and get me to say we need robo-umps or we need Angel Hernandez. It has to be one or the other. No, nobody has been as bad at his job at Angel Hernandez and stayed employed for 30 years at the major league level. It's impressive.
Well, when you Now, when you come from Cuba, you can hold that over
Oh, that has been
the
held.
entire sport.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Laz Diaz does not have that in his bag. Now, CB Buckner does. He was born in Jamaica. So he can do the you don't want to fire me because I'm terrible card, which I don't think CB Buckner would.
We don't need that kind of heel. No. Now we get this from the 402.
Hi, 402.
I dislike Angel a ton, but it's bittersweet that we are losing our heel in Major League Baseball.
That's right.
Umpires generally are always the heel.
Yeah, just wearing that uniform.
And there's nobody who you know about that is a good umpire.
That's right.
Right? But you've heard of these guys that have been around for a long time, and they will inevitably take the place of Angel Hernandez. Will it be as bad? Of course not. It could never be as bad as Angel Hernandez was. I've enjoyed all the videos of the audits that I've seen this weekend after Angel Hernandez's retirement. And I wish him good luck. And I frankly think that he should, sit back and have a cigar with Cowboy Joe.
Oh yeah.
Hop on the album. Did he die?
Did Joe West die?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so. If he did, I missed it, which is entirely possible.
He is not dead. So that's good.
Great.
Hopefully he could still make another country album, and maybe Angel Hernandez can hop on the track.
What if they went on tour together?
That would be awesome. But a salute to you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, Angel Hernandez. Aaron writes in on the text line.
Hi, Aaron.
Yes, Connor, but over 30 years, he makes more correct calls than most umpires. Just like the guy hitting 100 for 30 years probably has a decent amount of hits. Angel Hernandez probably. Thank you, Angel Hernandez, for texting into the show. Appreciate that.
I have a scorecard from Angel Hernandez on May 9th.
That was his last game. He has not umped in 3 weeks.
Overall accuracy, 92%. Overall consistency, 94%.
He's like Jeff Sims. He catches most of the snaps.
He got 5 balls wrong and 4 strikes wrong. So we got 9 pitches wrong. Minus 1.1% expected relative accuracy.
Do you feel bad? So Chris writes in, we've spent a lot of time on Angel Hernandez here. I like this. Chris writes in on Twitter. There will be no missing Angel Hernandez. Absolutely none. He's terrible, and I'm truly happy to see him go. Do you at all feel bad for a human man, Angel Hernandez, who just so happens to be just awful at his job? Do you at all feel bad? Do you at all feel like, all right, he's retiring, we should just let it go rather than pile on, happy to see you go, rotten hell,
Because Angel Hernandez held the sport hostage so he could continue to work.
That's it.
That is why I do not like him, and I don't wish death upon him, but I do not wish him well.
I imagine that it's been very difficult for his family to be the family of Angel Hernandez.
Yeah.
But like you said, he kind of held baseball hostage for a while.
And he got a settlement yesterday and said, okay, I will leave now. Thank you.
Coming up next, there will be a topic about robot umpires in MLB Reaction Overreaction.
Love it.
Let's do that when we return. More of the Connor Happer Show coming at you on 1620 The Zone.
Have you ever wanted to be wrong for a living? Sure, you could be a weatherman, a politician, or a sports radio host, but why not try the glamorous world of umpiring? At the Angel Hernandez School of Umpiring, you'll be given the tools of the trade by the sport's 57th most tenured umpire of all time. Strike? Ball? Who gives a shit as long as you're the star of the show? The fans in the 300 section won't know it's a strikeout unless you do an over-the-top animated strike 3 call. And if anyone gives you lip, well, that's the best part. Due to the antiquated, unwritten rules of a horribly archaic sport, you're judge, jury, and executioner. Throw that guy out on his ass. If anyone tells you you're out of line, run them off too. The Angel Hernandez School of Umpiring. Everyone needs an angel watching out for them.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I read a book about the idea of aliens being a thing. What is that, a new concept? Someone writing about aliens? No. It talked about if we're going to find aliens, how we hope to find them. Boy, that sounds like a really exciting book. It was a great book. I ripped right through it.
John, this is why you don't have fun. You don't allow yourself to wonder.
I wonder all the time. I wonder how I've made it this long being next to you two.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
For your Tuesday afternoon, it's going to be another sunny, warm, but breezy afternoon with temperatures getting up near 80 degrees, but a northwest wind anywhere from 10 to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to start near 51 degrees, warming up to near 80 degrees, and hopefully a little less of a breeze. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
Forget the drive to Colorado or Missouri. Stop into any Omaha 42 Degrees and indulge in a curated cannabis experience. Premium flower, cannabis, pre-rolls, and cannabis accessories paired with an elevated customer service experience. All are waiting for you at 42 Degrees. From novices to connoisseurs, we're here to elevate your cannabis journey. 42 Degrees, your destination for top-tier cannabis, second to none product selection, and exceptional service. By your mom's house.
The Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont is just minutes away from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake, your perfect dinner destination. Don't mistake the small town charm for small town food, because the Woodcliff Restaurant is a culinary treat. Voted Omaha's best outdoor patio, it's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy watching the fish and boats from the lakefront patio. Stop fighting traffic, parking, and one-way streets. Slow down and enjoy a fantastic dinner at the lake. Check them out at woodcliffrestaurant.com or Facebook for specials and events.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Introducing Modern Real Estate, the game changer in Nebraska's property market. With a competitive 2% commission rate, we're making buying, selling, and investing more affordable and transparent than ever. Our experienced agents blend local expertise with cutting-edge technology to provide top-notch personalized service to all clients. Don't settle for less when you can save big without compromising. Visit modernrealestateco.com and experience the future of real estate today. Modern Real Estate, redefining the way you do real estate.
Hey, our half off deal this week is not updated, but let me tell you about 1620 the email. You guys should sign up for 1620 the email. Join the VIP club today. You'll get plenty of extra stuff from us and basically a nice little rundown on the segments that we have deemed to be good throughout the day and the week.
Not the ones you have deemed to be good, the ones we've deemed to be good.
Yeah, like the chef. If the chef tells you, hey, these are the ones that you should be eating, you should take that chef's advice.
Oh, interesting.
In this case, we're the chefs, and we are delivering you hot takes right to your inbox.
A little home cooking.
Sign up, 1620thezone.com. All right, it's time for MLB reaction, overreaction. Josh got a few things cooked up here, including one about, look at that, the writers, right on cue. They've come up with a topic about robot umpires. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere in here, but let's start at the
could
top.
work that fast. We begin in Texas. Justin Verlander, who joined the top 10 in all-time strikeouts, will win 300 career games.
This is an overreaction. Justin Verlander will not win 300 career games.
I don't know what he's at right now, but it seems impossible.
He's at 260.
Oh, no, not a chance.
He's at 260.
He'd have to win.
He's 41 years old.
He'd have to win 20 games this year, 20 games next year.
He says he says it this way. He says, quote, "It's definitely still possible. Look, it's not the reason I'm still pitching, but I'd love to do it. I love the game, but it's simple math. I need 15 more a year for 3 more years. If I play 5 or 6 more years, I should get there.
6 more years?
I'm just trying to extend my window as long as possible and still be good. If I play until I'm 45 or 46, it's still very plausible." Which begs the question. Is Justin Verlander Nolan Ryan? What's going on here? I didn't know he had aspirations to pitch past 45.
I mean, if the Astros continue their slide, he's going to have to go to a winner.
He is 3-2 this year. He won 7 games last year. I'm sorry. No, he won 13 games in total last year. And he won 18 games with Houston at age 39 and 22. That was coming off of Tommy John. So post Tommy John, he's won, let's see, 34 games.
Okay.
Which is more than I ever expected out of him.
I would imagine one
because he had Tommy John at age 38.
Right. One more significant injury. It doesn't even have to be Tommy John, and it's all over for him.
Correct.
And
I never struck him. He never struck me as a guy that was trying to pitch until he was 50. But he's 40 wins away, which is still a very good chunk. And this is the last guy ever to even sniff it. As we've talked about before, this is the last guy that will ever have to even sniff 300.
I guess I'd like him to get there because I'd like to be able to appreciate it in the moment as like, okay, this is the last time this thing's ever going to happen. Yep. You know, whoever the last 300 game winner was, I kind of thought, it's probably not going to happen, but yeah, someone will get it. Now I know.
I believe so. The last guy was Maddox.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't even think that then. I was like, yeah.
Or was it? No, it was Randy Johnson.
Okay.
Randy Johnson got there in 2009 and he was the last one. And he only won 303 in his whole career.
And I hate to speak to what Justin Verlander's values, his wants, his dreams are, but dude, there are kids at home. Kate Upton's at home. Like, what? what are you doing here, bruh? Like,
you don't have to prove anything to us. You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, like, just
it's very interesting that
go live with Kate Upton.
Yeah, I would like to be with Kate Upton. That'd
I understand
be cool.
he's got the rest of his life to live with Kate Upton, but
or are you saying that Kate Upton's running out of good years?
No, I'm not at all. I'm just.
No, we don't.
You
need this.
wouldn't see me is what I'm saying.
He's not getting 300. He is top 10 all time strikeouts, which is, I mean, impressive.
Very.
And so he
has nothing left to prove.
Yeah, he doesn't have to get to 300, and he will not. I did see that idea getting thrown out there over the weekend. Hey, maybe he could stretch it a few more years and snuff out that 300th win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Not going to happen.
I mean, you got 3 no-hitters. You're a 2-time world champion. AL MVP. People forget.
What else do the writers have for us, Josh?
Because I forget. The Atlanta Braves, who are 6 games out of first place and will be without the MVP for the rest of the season.
People forget.
Will not win the NL East.
So this Phillies thing is very real.
Very real. Now, there are a number of people who cover the Braves and baseball at large and say, oh, the Phillies haven't played anybody. They've had a very weak schedule. They played the Marlins like 100 times.
I don't care.
I tend to not care about that either. They've got the pitching, they've got the hitting. Like they're
like when you're trying to make an argument that a team is like not good, straight up not good, or better than their record like strength of schedule in baseball is a ridiculous thing to quote for me. Right. I just don't
totally
like. I really don't want to hear that.
They have the second highest run differential in the sport, behind only the Yankees.
They are 4 games up for the first wild card at the moment, so they are fine at the present moment. But there is no replacing what Ronald Acuna gives you,
right?
Which is incredible above replacement defense and 70 bags that are stolen and 40 dongers. I mean, that's a big hole, right? He's so complete. He's such a good player. I'm interested to see what happens to that team. I think they're obviously, a playoff team. And like you mentioned, Josh, the last time this happened, they won the World Series without him. It's certainly still possible, but I think the Phillies are far and away the favorite in that division at the moment.
I would agree. The people who cover the Braves have said that the bats have been slumping, but it's past Memorial Day now. It's not a slow start. It's not a slump.
Yeah,
it might be a down year for that offense, which scored tied for the most runs ever scored or most home runs hit or something like that. Like Matt Olson's just now finally coming out of the slump. Sean Murphy injured an oblique on opening day and just came back yesterday.
Yeah, they do have a health situation.
Yeah, Austin Riley damaged his oblique. I don't have any more obliques to offer up to the Atlanta Braves organization.
6 games is not an insurmountable deficit to come back from, especially on May 28th. But I just, I like the vibe of Philly.
And hot take, as a Braves fan who has seen this team sit on their butt for 7 to 10 days at the end of last season and flame out in the playoffs, I'm not terribly mad if they have to play an extra round in the play. Obviously,
let me ask you this.
You don't want to, but we've seen the wild card teams do better in the playoffs.
This is one thing we've previously discussed. This is counting a lot of chickens, Josh, but we have noted that the final regular season series will feature, for the Atlanta Braves, will feature themselves in the Kansas City Royals this year. What are the odds that there's significant stakes for both teams that weekend?
I don't know what the stakes would be for the Braves. Maybe they need to win those games against Kansas City to win the division.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Number 1 wild card.
I'm just saying. What if?
What if?
That's all. I'm just saying. What if?
I mean, it seems like Kansas City and Cleveland are going to be neck and neck all summer long.
Maybe. We'll see what happens when they play each other for the first time this weekend.
What an insane scheduling anomaly.
Or at the start of next week, I guess. Yeah. No, ridiculous. Next.
full robot umps will never be in the major leagues.
We don't like to say never, Josh.
Yeah.
Never's a big word.
So definitive.
I would like to be definitive with this. We will never have full robot umpires. We will never have.
It seems so inevitable.
We will never have what they use on Tuesday through Thursday in the International League, which is the umpire is standing back there, but he gets it through his ear.
Or she.
He or she, that is correct, gets it through their ear on what the call is. I don't think we should ever have that, and I don't think we will ever have that. Where I believe there is going to be some room for maneuvering is, I've talked about it for 2 years now, the challenge system. Rob Manfred had this to say last week, quote, "There's a growing consensus in large part based on what we're hearing from players that the challenge form should be the form of ABS if and when we bring it to the big leagues, at least as a starting point. He's held this opinion for a while, and others are coming around." I agree. I think the challenge system is not only not very invasive, it is good. It holds umpires accountable, and it is also kind of interactive for fans. And really, like, you get to know right there, because what they do and how they've rolled it out, and they've made improvements on it over the last year or so now as well. The umpire turns around to the press box. He goes, after the catcher taps his helmet, he says, "The catcher is challenging, the strike call or the ball call and saying it was a strike." And then instant later, it's on the big screen, and there is this moving, just like in tennis,
yeah.
And you get to see how far it is off the zone. There was one over the weekend at Werner Park where it was 0.5 inches, a sliver, but it was a ball. And you, at least according to the information that they have. Now, it is challenged at the hitter, catcher, or pitcher's discretion. It is a challenge system.
So Aaron
in
Boone,
a true challenge
can't run out
form.
there and say, "No, that was a ball."
Right.
Okay.
Aaron Boone can tell his catcher to challenge it, as long as it's quick, pretty immediate, right? Hey, challenge that. But ultimately, it's up to the catcher or it's up to the hitter. They know best. They are being trusted with this knowledge, considering they are the people who are right on top of it.
And there's not like, oh, you only get 3.
I do think there is a limit. I don't know what it is, but you get them back as many as you win.
Oh, okay.
It holds umpires accountable, though. I mean, there was a game last year. I was telling Josh about it during the break. There was a game last year where, and there was one that was pretty bad over the weekend too. We probably got up to 7, 8, 9, 10 challenges, and the umpire sometimes gets them wrong, and the umpire has to sit around and just eat it. But the umpire has a chance at their revenge. But the only chance at revenge is if they get the calls right. They just got to get the calls right. And it's a true challenge system. I like it. I think it's way preferable to robot umpires.
It sounds better.
And I do think if and when we get there, this is what will be adopted. I do not believe we will ever have full automated ball strikes.
Rusty on YouTube. Baseball is in such a weird place, raging at Hernandez accuracy percentages, but not wanting robotic umps. We want human error, but only an obscure level of human error.
I mean, Rusty, I actually think you kind of described it well. Like it's an inexact science, but I do appreciate how there is a little bit of that inexactness in the game. And I like arguments. I like when the hitter can turn around and say, "Hey, what the hell?" And now the hitter could say, "What the hell?" by tapping his head. Like a monkey.
I don't have to.
Yeah. I don't have to say, "Hey, I think you got that one wrong. Can I get the next one?"
Idiot.
You can literally challenge it. I think it's a good system. And I think we're probably still a little ways away from that being a thing. But I think we're not even remotely close to having acceptance of the fully automated ball strike system. I don't think we'll get there.
Good.
I don't think we'll get there.
All right, last one. Before
Yeah, last
Baseball
one.
Savant.
We don't have to go to Baseball Savant.
Oh, okay. The Dodgers, who have lost 5 in a row, should be concerned.
Josh, did you know that the Los Angeles Dodgers, basically everyday player Chris Taylor is hitting 101 this year? He's hitting 101.
I did not know that it was that bad.
Now they are.
I did know their bottom 3 is garbage.
They are getting healthy at the moment. They're still working on some things, but it's a problem. Like they have to. They probably need to go out and make some moves. I don't think they should be concerned. There's wiggle room there, and like ultimately the stars will be the stars and they can carry you. But you'd like guys like Chris Taylor, Jason Hayward, who doesn't actually play that much anymore.
Yeah.
Outman's not even on the major league roster anymore. Like you would just like those guys to be a lot better than what they just can't be a black hole. The bottom third of their lineup is a black hole right now. That's the problem. So as long as you fix that, you're back to being the complete, version of yourself.
I mean,
they're fine.
They seem high on the. I know it's not pronounced pages, but it's spelled pages.
Oh yeah, Andy.
Yeah, they seem to like him. I mean, they've got pieces that they could move if they wanted to.
Sure.
Boost that outfield.
They only spent $1 billion this offseason.
Yeah, and none of that on Shohei Ohtani. But I'll be interested to see how that affects them in the postseason when every at bat matters more. Are you just going to sacrifice the bottom third of your lineup?
They can't. They got to make moves. They're going to do something at the deadline. And then we'll do the whole thing where we get triggered again because the Dodgers have acquired another player.
Yeah, a superstar outfielder on a rental that seems unfair to.
They'll
the rest
get
of the
Juan
sport.
Soto again or something. Who knows? A couple things here before we take a break. Happer's Meme Guy writes in.
Hi, Happer's Meme Guy.
Poll question: would you rather win 300 games or go home to Kate Upton?
I'll do it. Do we want to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Chris in South Carolina. What if Verlander went to the pen? Might be able to get some more wins that way. Would it taint the 300 if he were to reach it that way? I just don't think there's any sort of combination where he can get 40 more wins. It's a lot more wins.
A lot.
Somebody asks like, hey, well, what about like young guys? Like, what about like Paul Skeens? You don't think he is no, pitchers aren't going to win 20 games anymore.
Paul Skeens is going to miss 2 seasons of his professional career repairing his Tommy John injury.
Yeah, 15 is the new 20 in terms of pitcher wins, and you got to do it for a really long time. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back just a few minutes before we get to Jacob Bigelow coming up on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, how conveniently placed. Let's talk about the FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's talk about dingers, blasts, and moonshots, whatever you'd like to call them. I know I have another word for them as well that I will not mention here in this ad read. But it's FanDuel's Dinger Tuesdays, and you can love them even more. Dinger Tuesdays back for another season on America's #1 sportsbook. Just bet on a player to hit a home run, and FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit in that game. So you can pull up the page for home run hitters today in Major League Baseball. Bobby Witt Jr. is plus 400. He's kind of on a dinger tear at the moment. He's ripped off a couple over the last few days. So why not Bobby against the Minnesota Twins? You could do that, and every home run hit in that game, you're getting bonus bets back, as if you needed another reason to love the long ball. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and get in on this Dinger Tuesday action. Do it now. FanDuel.com/Happer. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $25 a game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620, The Zone.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Hello? Jan, it's Kay. Are you and Rich free for dinner tonight? I'm making pizza.
Sounds great. What time?
6 p.m.?
Sorry, can't do it. Wheel of Fortune is on and Rich won't miss it.
You're kidding.
Nope. He's seen every episode since 1975. He won't budge.
Listen, tell him if he comes, we'll buy him a bunch of Wheel of Fortune scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery.
Won't work. He has to see the show.
That's just it. Until July 30th, if Rich enters any non-winning $5 Wheel of Fortune scratch ticket online, he could win the ultimate fan trip to Los Angeles, including airfare and accommodations. He'll also win tickets to a live taping of Wheel of Fortune and get to spin the big wheel to win at least $2,000.
That might work. Could you do just one other thing?
Sure. What?
Could you write free spin and pepperoni on every other slice of pizza?
Why don't you just come at 7?
Wheel of Fortune top prize odds, 1 in 112,000.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, we'll be joined by one of the world's youngest deadheads coming up in a couple minutes here.
What? Who? Bigelow's a deadhead?
Apparently.
Look, I try very hard not to judge a book by its cover.
You wouldn't have had that?
I wouldn't have had that. Nope. Sorry, Jacob. I love you. But.
So he's going, we'll talk to him about this in a second, but he is apparently going to the so you mentioned the John Mayer dead. John Mayer's in the Grateful Dead now.
Yeah.
I think it's called Dead and Company.
Yeah.
They're at the Sphere in Vegas next week, and guess who's going?
Jacob Bigelow.
That's right.
Wow.
We got a lot to learn about Jacob, I think.
The Sphere.
Yeah, the Sphere. You know the thing?
I think that's a great venue for them. Just have some tie-dye waving about
I think
the top of the Sphere.
They've been doing shows there for some period of time now, but yeah, I think Jacob's going from what it sounds like.
Great.
Week. So yeah, we got some things to talk about. There was a report over the weekend about conference realignment. This stuff is like catnip to us during the summer. Yeah. Don't do that. But it doesn't matter who it comes from, right? It's just that it's catnip.
Nope. Just give me a rumor.
And it's just there. So this one is from Dick Weiss, who
sounds fake,
is real and is a award-winning columnist for the New York Daily News.
Oh, congratulations, Dick.
According to Dick, he's been covering college basketball for 8,000 years.
Really,
It's
Dick?
not a parody account.
Really?
Speculation is circulating about potential shifts in college sports conferences. There is discussion about Utah possibly moving to the ACC, despite its recent move to the Big 12, with some suggesting that the ACC might be a better fit due to its ESPN network agreement and potential for increased TV value. However, skepticism exists regarding the stability and attractiveness of the ACC compared to the Big 12. I would say that the latter sentence there really rings true about the attractiveness of the ACC compared to the Big 12.
Wouldn't it just be like, hey, Stanford and Cal want some more travel partners in the ACC? And
It sounds like a little ACC propaganda to me. It sounds like we're trying to keep Florida State and Clemson with all of our hearts. And so what can we do to potentially like stay relevant at all, at least compared to the Big 12? Because that's the plane they're on. They're not going to be the SEC. They're not going to be the Big 10. So really it's just a war between the ACC and the Big 12 to be relevant between them, which it seems like the Big 12 has won or is winning.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to have a sizable lead.
A statement has been released from Utah.
The Utes.
Quote, "We are proud to be entering into membership with the Big 12 Conference in the coming months and excited to join our new colleagues and member institutions. A report over the weekend that suggested otherwise is completely fabricated and irresponsible."
Oh, hello.
They threw the irresponsible tag on my guy, Dick Weiss. But
poll question, is Dick irresponsible?
Just wanted you guys to know that these rumors are out there again. Nebraska fans, you could look at it a couple different ways. Number one, you could take solace in the fact that you're in a nice, comfortable safety blanket of the Big Ten Conference.
That's always how I look at these things. Like, wow, I'm so glad Nebraska is like set and safe and secure.
And so you can sit up in your highest of high chairs, in your king chair, if you will, and look down upon the rest of college football, sans ACC and Big Ten. You got your own problems to work. SEC and Big Ten. You got your own problems you can worry about as far as pecking order within that.
Right.
But you're above a giant swath of the world of college football. And for that, you can start to laugh at other people. What's going on? What conference is Colorado in? I have no idea. What conference is Utah in? I have no idea. They don't even know, it seems like.
Look at you, Utah, scrambling for freedom like a cockroach.
Florida State is trying to pay millions and millions and millions of dollars to not be in the conference that they're in. They would do anything to not be in the conference they're in. So yes, we can all that's been my realignment approach over the last couple of years. I'm just going to take all these things and I'm going to say, wow, this is amazing. And thank you, Big Ten. Who was it? Michael Wilbon, who I agree with on everything, said, you should be licking the boots of the Big Ten. You should be thankful to be here. I've never agreed more. Thank you, Michael Wilbon, the speaker of many truths.
There's the title of the radio replay and the best of today. Quote, thank you, Michael Wilbon.
Didn't he have another?
Yeah. He
what did he do now?
He said nobody cares about exit velocity. Like, okay, I understand there's some old curmudgeons in baseball who don't like analytics, but everybody is like, oh, exit velocity. Okay, like, how hard did he hit the ball?
Something as simple as how hard did he hit the ball? Okay, I got to read this now. Quote, it angers me, Wilbon said of the hype around Pirates shortstop O'Neal Cruz's exit velocity. He's a 260.
The hardest hit ball recorded in the StatCast era.
He's a 260 hitter, so why do I care about the exit velo? I don't. And so I guess people need this to become interested and more fascinated and go, oh, wow. Not only do I not go, oh, wow, it has started the ruination of watching sports for me. Numbers like this put up on the screen repeatedly, day in and day out. The ruination of watching sports. Is that as catchy as the wussification of America? It's getting really close.
Boy, sure. The vibes are similar, as they would say. I mean, he's a pretty good player, O'Neal Cruz.
He's very good. And yes, he's only hitting 260, but he hits the ball hard. And that usually means that you're going to hit better than 260 by the end of this giant sample size. That's what it's all about. Like, we don't need to go goo goo gaga over the fact that a guy hit a ball 120. Mm-hmm. It's cool. Is it indicative of how good of a player he is? No. And nobody is saying that. But if you hit 100 balls, 110 miles an hour, that probably means you're good. We're applying it in the same way we're applying batting average. It's just more intuitive and better.
Yes.
So there you go, Wilbon. There's your explanation.
Also, O'Neal Cruz, who must have had a bad Sunday or Monday because he's batting 247 right now. 87th best in the sport.
At
batting
hitting
average.
Ball hard?
Batting average.
Oh, at batting average.
There are not 100 players with a higher batting average.
Let me just check and see where O'Neal Cruz is at as far as the exit velocity. Like, where is he at on the exit velocity leaderboard? Right.
I would imagine very high. I see his name on there a lot from Sarah Lang's every day.
He is third.
Okay.
Third in average exit velocity, only behind Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and in front of Shohei Ohtani.
He's the highest non-Yankee in the sport.
So that usually means you're gonna get good results.
Definitely.
Just keep hitting the ball hard and see what happens. All right, coming back, we will talk to America's youngest deadhead, Jacob Bigelow.
This will be interesting.
About a variety of different topics. We'll mix it up with him. I'm not even sure if we'll touch on basketball, to be honest with you.
Do we need to?
Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show.
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
On 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo, or shop at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Hey, you hear that? That's the sound of loose change in your pocket reminding you to buy a 99-cent medium fountain drink from Casey's. So the next time you hear this, you already know where to go. 99-cent medium fountain drinks. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistants, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton, Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal are coupons valued at $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. It's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy a culinary treat for any special occasion. $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. This week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
The boys of summer are back. Kansas City Royals baseball can be heard all season long on your home for Royals baseball in Omaha, 1620 The Zone and 1180 The Zone. Royals baseball is presented by J. Stinnett Contracting. We have you covered.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
He's heating up. That's the country song, right? Remember when?
Thank you. Jacob Bigelow.
Yeah. Whenever my open is concocted, throw that in there.
He's on fire!
Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620 The Zone.
Boom shakalaka!
All right. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by our good friend, Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated, the Stretch Big podcast. Jacob, hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really good. So I have pulled up the top 5 songs on Spotify by the Grateful Dead. So the top song with 110 million streams is called Friend of the Devil. I have never heard this song, not even once. It's their most popular song. In fact, I have never heard a Grateful Dead song, I don't think, in my entire life. But they have this following, and it has apparently reached young Jacob Bigelow. How did you become a Grateful Dead fan?
Like my father before me, that's how. My running joke has been that the first words I knew were words to a Grateful Dead song. That's kind of been my running joke for quite a while. But I will say this. I think you've been to far too many baseball games in your life to not have heard the song Touch of Gray. I feel like that's a baseball stadium mainstay in some way, shape, or form. Listen to it. Listen to it in the break. You'll have heard it before. But yeah, I mean, it's music that has transcended generations. When Jerry Garcia was still alive, he put it pretty plainly. He said, "We're kind of like licorice. Not everybody likes licorice, but people who like licorice really, really like licorice."
That's
and they'll be sure to tell you about it. So that is kind of the best way I can describe it. But I mean, yeah, I was at the same show last summer as John Cook out in Boulder. So I mean, it must have been the place to be.
This is something that I don't understand. It's these guys and Fish. Who are these people? And they have gigantic followings. And somehow I've never heard any of their songs. I will check on this Touch of Gray thing, but I don't know. I've never. I feel like I've never heard it before. I don't understand how this has become a thing, but now people of the generation of like your dad's generation have now passed it on to people like yourself, and it's still hanging on out there somewhere. And this has now created, Jacob, a whole new band, which is apparently the Dead and Company, which now features John Mayer, which I'm learning, there's just all these worlds that are now opening up to me that I've never heard of before.
I mean, hey, it's the perfect summer thing to learn some new things. While you're prepping for quick pitch, whip around regional coverage this weekend.
Nice.
You can learn some stuff, learn a thing or two. But I mean, it's quite a story. There's a lot of history with it, and I mean, John Mayer and a bunch of dudes in their late 70s, and then a couple fill-ins because not every member of the. I mean,
Yes.
it's a couple of the originals, but I mean, John Mayer and some old dudes at the Sphere next week. Going to be quite.
Yeah, I got to ask you about. Okay, so you've also never been to Vegas. Is this also correct?
This is correct. Yes.
So what do you like? Give me a little itinerary. Give me the rundown of your first experience in Vegas that will include going to Dead and Company featuring John Mayer at the Sphere.
It's going to be a pretty quick trip. I mean, long story short, all four members of my family, we all have June birthdays. So we are going to condense everyone's birthday into a little trip to Vegas. We're flying out on Wednesday. The concert is on Thursday, and we will be back in Omaha on Friday night. So not towing the line of too much time in Vegas. We have a dinner reservation, but not a whole lot else planned aside from the show and dinner. So kind
Exciting.
of still, open to suggestions for someone who's never been to Vegas.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a choose your adventure type of thing. You can treat you can get whatever you want out of Vegas. Like, it could be whatever kind of trip you want it to be. So I look forward to you having that experience with your family. And so the reason this comes up today, so did your Celtics fandom also come from your dad, I assume?
It did not. My dad is he grew up in Iowa, so I mean my Celtics fandom came from thinking Rajon Rondo wearing a headband was cool when I was 11 years old.
Nice.
Him having the handles he had and wearing a headband and doing that thing where he'd like bounce it off his head. I'm like, that guy's cool. I like this team. And then definitely evolved over the last 15 plus years for sure. But that's how it began.
Yeah. And now, the reason I asked is because I just figured with the Grateful Dead and the Celtics, I figured that'd be a perfect avenue to bridge the gap over to Bill Walton, who passed away yesterday. That's the reason it came up in the first place. That I don't think I ever would have heard of the Grateful Dead, or just barely, if not for Bill Walton, who is the most famous fan of the Grateful Dead.
No, definitely. I mean, I saw a great, anecdote yesterday, a story about how when Bill first got to Boston, that, the guys on the team knew there was a Dead show close by, and they wanted to get to know him. So Larry Bird and Kevin McHale said, "Hey, you're going to this Dead show?" He said, "Oh, absolutely." And they said, "Can we come too?" And every member of the 85 or 86 Celtics, except for Danny Ainge, you damn square, went to a Dead show with Bill Walton. And that was their, how do we welcome Bill to Boston and, help him feel, like a part of the team right away. I saw that story yesterday amongst the many clips and stories, that went along, with who Bill Walton was. And I know that, the term one of one, gets thrown out there.
Yeah.
Probably too much, but I think there's no more definitive, case of a one of one, who at one point was possibly the best player in the NBA, when he was with the Portland Trailblazers in the late 70s, career ravaged by injury, somehow overcomes a stutter to become to get a job where he talks for a living.
Yeah.
And he, goes on to, is Pac-12 After Dark? Obviously, there's a football element to it too. But when I knew Pac-12 After Dark, it was late night basketball games with Bill Walton, and people could complain all they want about him. And, however, if you're coming for serious, basketball analysis from the color guy, that's your own prerogative. I'd rather listen to Bill Walton ramble than JJ Redick look like he was being held hostage last night at the end.
Definitely.
But
yeah,
that man is probably going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. But that's for another day, another time. But I mean, Bill Walton, his overarching message was to enjoy people, enjoy life, and positivity, and all that, and pretty simple, but also pretty strong, pretty deep, and it's was a little bit of a gut punch yesterday, to be honest.
I think so too. Yeah. Well said. And there's no doubt about that. Speaking of positivity, you had a chance to be around a little bit for last week, Nebraska's run back through the losers bracket of the Big Ten baseball tournament. And you were there on Sunday when they won it all. And got I saw you tweeted out the picture of the guy who gave Kyle Perry the WWE championship belt and just chucked it out of the stands. How much of a party was it on Sunday early afternoon after Nebraska won the conference?
It was a pretty big party. I mean, they were all getting lined up to take a picture. Then I just hear someone yell, "KP!" and he comes running over to him and throws him that. I'm like, is that a Nebraska logo? Oh my God. And that's just like him holding it up, bringing it over. Guys go crazy. I mean, it was a party, but it was also like a one big sigh of relief almost. Like just to get that weight off the shoulders of the program, of that coaching staff. I tweeted out the picture of the coaching staff on the field taking pictures too. I mean, that was people also use the word magic in sports too much, but I mean that whole run, coming after Tuesday night felt like magic. Like it felt like Nebraska baseball magic. It felt, I don't want to say an exorcism. That may happen in Stillwater this weekend, but with the discourse, that's come, around the program, around the coaching staff. I mean, it is a little bit of our old friend Poison football brain of, oh, they lost another midweek game. The sky's falling. The season's over. Like,
right.
what the hell is going on? But, they've had, some head scratchers, but they've never gone into a tailspin this year. They've always bounced back in some way, shape, or form. And, that's a credit to the coaches. That's a credit, to their mantra. And, it was a pretty cool scene. I've had this theory for a while that there's a generation of people probably somewhere between your age and mine who their first memory of Nebraska being good at anything is the baseball glory years, the 05 College World Series, probably.
Yeah.
And because of football being what it was then, basketball being nothing, there's a generation of people in this state who Husker baseball will always have a special, part of their heart. And to see the euphoria that came from, the run and from Sunday, I mean, it was, a big, sigh of relief for quite a few people, both outside and in the program.
I think you nailed it, man. It's, you get that team going, and I can't go, just like when I talk about Creighton basketball, I can never help but think about, playing in front of 4,000 people at the Civic and, or road trips to Evansville or whatever it might be, during that time of my life. When I think about Nebraska baseball, I can't go 10 seconds without thinking about 01, 02, and 05 and those teams. And so anytime you can get a little taste of that, it feels really special. And you could tell that and we do this all the time. We probably do it too much. I don't want to stroke the ego of Nebraska fans too much here. But the energy, I was there at the Saturday morning game in the stands, and the first one on the day that they had to win too. To have a crowd that locked in, that engaged, and that fired up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday Memorial Day weekend, I was so impressed, and that was my takeaway every single time. And so you can't help but think about what it might look and feel like if they were to return to the top of that mountain where they had been before.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely and totally agree. I mean, I was in the building for that game too, and for the second game. And I mean, every sport at Nebraska has a group of diehards, and then there are the general Husker fans that Nebraska's playing and they're winning. I'm watching. I'm there. But I mean, it was to see it all come together, and the fact that it took as long as it did for the program to win a Big Ten tournament when they joined the conference, that was the sport, the men's sport that they thought that most people thought would be the easiest transition. But I mean, that's kind of it comes back to my comparison of just one big sigh of relief for the sphere around Nebraska baseball.
Tell people just briefly what it was like to be right next to me while I was eating a chicken wrap, a salsa chicken wrap or something like that, and just workshopping the Brocket Man thing while you were like right next to me while that was all happening.
I heard you like say it under your breath at first, and then I think he like got a big strikeout, and then I think I started singing along with you. And before I knew, I opened Twitter and I saw it, and I'm like, hell yeah, like that.
Brocket Man.
To watch you workshop it, in person. I had a front row seat to the creation of some art, but
Special.
I'm going to roll with that nickname too. I mean, what a year for him. The ups and downs for him. I mean, you could say that about a bunch of guys on that pitching staff, on that team. Ups and downs and resiliency and bounce back. But I think it's a good nickname. I think it sticks.
Well, okay. So the Brocket Man is an important guy potentially for this weekend, because if you end up 1-1 in your first two games, that's where the last time Nebraska was in the quote unquote Stillwater Regional, they got absolutely crushed by UConn on the hottest day on that this earth has ever seen. The Brocket Man would probably be the guy to go to on that day, and they're going to need another good one from him. So I don't know. It might not be the last we've heard of the Brocket Man, Jacob.
No, I would tend to agree with you. I think whether they're in the 2-0 game or 1-1, I think it'll be one of the lefties who had a good week this past week. That's for sure. One of the lefties.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot out of Walsh, who appears to be Mr. Big Ten tournament, and then there's the Brocket Man. So we'll see how it goes. But this is always a fun weekend. The regionals and the lead up, everything. It's I feel like it's a niche. It's definitely a niche. Like, oh, I'm from Omaha. I love everything that leads to the College World Series thing for people who enjoy it as much as I do. But it's a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Jacob, thanks. Good to talk as always. We'll talk next week.
Oh, sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated and the Stretch Big podcast. I was sitting up there. I'm like, I just started the Brocket. Look at the Brocket Man, and then it didn't hit me that it sounded like Rocket Man, and then boom,
that didn't hit you.
It took a second.
Oh, okay.
And then he was burning out his fuse up there alone. The Brocket Man. People are like, "This, come on, Happer. Like, you really stretch." How am I stretching? I've stretched further before.
Yeah,
trust me. I think Rocket Man and Brocket Man work perfectly.
And you will stretch again.
Maybe we'll get some Maybe we'll get another Brocket Man. Like I said, that third game. If you get to the third game, whichever way it comes, whether it's from 0-1 or 1-0, is always a very weird game. Yes. Because you're looking ahead to get back at the team that's likely beat you, probably the top. So let's just play it out, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say Nebraska beats Florida. They lose to Oklahoma State. They got to drop back down and either beat Florida or Niagara, whoever's sitting there, just to be able to get the opportunity to beat Oklahoma State twice. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's how it's going to go. That's how it went 5 years ago for Nebraska in 2019. They got crushed by UConn in that game. That would be the Brocket Man game. Probably, right? I mean, he's
absolutely.
I mean, he would kind of be your Sunday, unless it's Walsh, Rocket Man or Walsh. Like somebody, if you get to that point, if it's 1-1, now if it's 2-0, you feel a little bit better because you're in the driver's seat. Somebody's going to have to give them something that you wouldn't expect. And so far, twice this year, it's been the Brocket Man. Maybe it's the Brocket Man again this weekend.
Sure seems like you would call upon him.
I'm a Brocket Man. All right, we'll be back. Still a couple more things to get to before we get out of here. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
This is something that I've been very cognizant of living in Omaha. Because I think Nebraska athletics, whether it be trying to gain new ticket holders, new donors, new interest, yes, winning matters, is they need to be better in this town, like more visible.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
For your Tuesday afternoon, it's going to be another sunny, warm, but breezy afternoon with temperatures getting up near 80 degrees, but a northwest wind anywhere from 10 to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to start near 51 degrees, warming up to near 80 degrees, and hopefully a little less of a breeze. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Forget the drive to Colorado or Missouri. Step into any Omaha 42 degrees and indulge in a curated cannabis experience. Premium flower, cannabis, pre-rolls, and cannabis accessories paired with an elevated customer service experience. All are waiting for you at 42 degrees. From novices to connoisseurs, we're here to elevate your cannabis journey. 42 degrees, your destination for top-tier cannabis, second to none product selection, and exceptional service. By your mom's house.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th to the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Hop into the driver's seat of a new Ford truck or SUV now at Baxter Ford. Choose from hundreds of new Ford F-150s, F-150 Lightnings, F-250s, and F-350s. Baxter Ford has over 250 new SUV models available, including Bronco, Bronco Sport, Escape, Edge, Explorer, Expedition, and more. Plus, all our vehicles come with fair, transparent pricing and no dealer fees. So you only pay for the vehicle, not the paperwork. Get started at BaxterFord.com.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistants, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use, about travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Get Babbel. It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
All right, just quickly here before we get to a call. I listened to like snippets of 4 Grateful Dead songs during the break. just to confirm that I never heard any Grateful Dead songs.
And it refreshed your memory, and you can point out all the ones that you've heard and love.
It refreshed my memory that I had never heard a Grateful Dead song.
Oh.
I mean, I have now, I guess, but I have never listened to one, really. It's amazing to me that band is so popular, and it's like a well-known band, and somehow it would not come into my field of vision at all for my entire time on Earth. I listen to old music.
Yeah,
I listen to old weed music. I some of it, I guess. I guess I'm not that deep into it. But I listen to 70s music. I know Neil Young. It feels like Neil Young adjacent. Never heard a Grateful Dead song.
Probably a lot of overlap. Yeah, sure.
In my entire life. Just to go ahead and confirm that. I'm not mad at it. I don't think the music is bad. I listened to a couple of the songs. I don't think the songs are that bad. The songs seem fine. How have I never heard it? That's the part I don't understand. It's incredible to me. It's amazing. To the phones, the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Here is Random Mike. Mike, good to hear from you. How are you?
Oh, you too, and good stuff about Bill Walton. I appreciate that. I was, I don't know if you're familiar with Walton's last game, I think at UCLA, and they won the championship, and he shot like 21 out of 22 against Memphis State, something like that.
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't know that was the stat line, but yeah. I mean, he was the number one pick.
Yeah, I was in school, and a buddy of mine lived next door was from Memphis, and he was a huge Memphis State fan, and it was really quite an experience. But a healthy Bill Walton, if he stays basically healthy through his career, probably short list of the greatest players to play the game ever. I mean, we know how valuable a guy like Kalkbrenner is, a big guy that, blocks shots and does other stuff and gives a great effort. But Walton was that, and a fantastic passer. He could score. I mean, he was fantastic.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's no doubt if he stays healthy, he's already basically on the, on the periphery of the list, and he missed what, like 4 full years of his career due to injury. So yeah,
exactly. And I don't know if you heard the interview with Josh Guerin by Nick Hanley this morning. Did you catch that?
No. Who went on? Josh Guerin?
Josh Guerin.
For Nebraska. Yeah. Josh Guerin.
Yeah.
I did not hear that. No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a great interview, and there was something he said before his home run on Sunday. Will Bolt comes up to him and says, what do you think of looking for the slider? And his response was, no, I'm going to go with my usual approach. I've got it. And sure enough, it was a fastball kind of outside, not a bad pitch. And he hit the home. But I love the fact that Will Bolt made it a question instead of, an order, and the way he handled it. And I do agree with me that the position, maybe in any sport, that you admire the player more than anybody else is the catcher in baseball. I mean, with what they have to do physically, the abuse they take, and how smart they are. And I think half the major league managers are former catchers. I mean, it's crazy.
I would say that on the first part you mentioned there, on like a lot about managing, you'll hear this from old major league managers, or it's different in college because you're coaching and you're managing. But in the game management stuff, like 90% of it is just attempting to kind of stay out of the way. Find something that works, press the right buttons, and then get out of the way. And that's a really good example of that. I'm glad he told that story.
He's such a bright guy, and what his teammates say about him is fantastic player, and him not getting postseason honors is one of the bigger, unfair things I've ever seen in sports.
Yeah.
But how did he handle it? But they say he's an even better person than he is a player and a leader. And I'm really curious to see where he's drafted and how he's going to do in the future.
Well, I think he's he's a pretty interesting draft prospect for sure. I think there was some buzz about him before. So yeah, I would imagine that he'll keep playing. What do you think, Mike? Do you think they can win a couple games and get out of there this weekend?
I think anything is possible. Let me tell you something. That first game was so miserable in every respect that if we played kind of a not a good game in the second game, we're out. I think there's a good chance we don't make the tournament.
I still think they probably would have been on the right side. But yeah, like you said, I wouldn't have wanted to test it losing to Purdue in that second game. I just would have been a little sweaty for me yesterday. And I think they still would have made it, but it would have been a little too sweaty.
and it's crazy. Has a team ever been kicked out? I mean, loses the game with a mercy rule in the first game of a tournament, a double elimination, and end up winning the tournament. I don't know if that's ever happened.
I don't know. The mercy rule, I have no idea, but I mean, nobody in the conference has come back to lose, come back to win the tournament after losing their first game since 95.
Connor, in the tournament postseason, a lot is who's hot at the right time. And Nebraska, answers that question in a lot of ways. And what about these two guys that were so hot in the tournament? It's fantastic. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that with Nebraska baseball. But here you are associated with Creighton baseball. And when Nebraska played Creighton, the better team was Creighton. I don't think there's any question about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's about who gets hot in the postseason. And now, I mean, you want to talk about putting value on winning a conference championship and getting to dogpile. Like, how much? Don't you think that keeps you hot? If you win a title and you're able to hoist the trophy and you get the belt and the whole deal, like that should theoretically keep you hot going into next weekend. I would guess.
There's like me, and you worry about the person on the bottom of those piles.
Occasionally, I think about it, but we've made it through many piles now with nobody getting seriously injured.
Yeah, we got a shot. It's going to be fun to watch. Take care, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot there, but I do think Nebraska baseball has we didn't really talk about their chances to get out yet. And the draw, but I do think what we said with AB there in that segment, you can mix them up with the 6 teams. Sorry, to the 2 4s, High Point and Niagara.
No disrespect.
In both the Clemson and the Stillwater regionals, which are matched up for the Super. You could probably put all 6 of them into a pile and it's pretty close. I don't know. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I think it's obviously better than being than sitting in the same region as a giant stone wall. I don't think Nebraska is in the same region as a stone wall.
Right.
That should give you some hope. They got a chance. So that's all you can hope for around this time of year. We'll be back. We'll get to the poll questions. We'll tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
My taco pie is really something special, and it can't be imitated. It starts with my zesty taco sauce, seasoned beef, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, mounds of cheddar, and mozzarella cheese. This pie is the real deal. For a limited time, build your own feast with the specialty pizza, like my taco pie, a 1-topping pizza, and cinnamon monkey bread. Do yourself a favor and order. Today, Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Nick, the NBA playoffs are underway, and our good friends at FanDuel, they're going to give all customers 2 chances to bring home a big win with a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend of the playoffs. All you have to do is just place a same-game parlay on any playoff matchup, and you're going to get bonus bets back if you don't win.
That is absolutely 100% accurate. Bet on everything from rebounds to assists, 3-pointers, whatever you can squeeze in there. So much more. Visit FanDuel.com. Use the promo code ZONE. Again, that's FanDuel.com/zone. And shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Post is roasting every morning. Post Coffee Services is on a mission to invigorate every workplace with a blend of bold flavors and unforgettable service, creating moments with our coffee, water, and food services that spark joy, productivity, and connection. Call us today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Post Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road. How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're going to have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Poll questions at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. First poll question today. Feels good to get a couple polls out there.
Yeah.
By the way, we hadn't. The last poll question that I was responsible for.
Oh man, can you go back that far?
Was Benny Rodriguez good because he was playing with scrubs? That happened under my watch. Take responsibility for that. In the meantime, here we have today's. Does a nacho bar always work? Kind of does. Like you're always good with a nacho bar, right?
Yeah.
It always works.
I'm never gonna go, oh, you went nacho bar?
Yeah, it's like even if it was a wedding, it's like give me a vat of meat, giant thing of potato chips or tortilla chips, and some toppings, and I'm good. I'm happy.
Never been mad at a nacho bar.
77% agree. Yes. Have you ever smacked a mascot on the ass because you thought your friend was in the costume? No.
No.
I have not. But Nick Hanley has. 88% say no.
Seems low.
Nick Hanley is in the 12%. Is Arby's a 4-star organization?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
I actually think,
I'm with you guys on Arby's.
I am always pleasantly surprised. Maybe it's because my expectations are too low, but I'm always pleasantly surprised.
It's not where I go most often, but I'll hit it every once in a while, and I'm always like, you know what? Yeah, this worked.
58% say yes. Would you eat a cinnamon roll after it was thrown at you?
Hell yes.
Yes. 77% say yes. And finally, would you rather win 300 games or go home to Kate Upton?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be the chauvinist one here, but I'm picking Kate.
I will. 300. You're among like 20 people ever.
One person has been married to Kate Upton.
That is true.
One of one.
It's a pretty special club. It's a pretty special club. All right, let's not make any more jokes.
I'll tell you what. I'd lose 300 games if it meant I could go home to Kate Upton.
Yeah, but that's not the game we're playing. It's just you get one or the other. You get to be all-time great pitcher in baseball history or simply be married to Kate Upton.
I don't need to be great at anything.
I want to be a great baseball pitcher. 33% only agree with me. I'm actually surprised it was that much. 67% would rather go home to Kate Upton. Bunch of weirdos. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We are watching the NBA playoffs. They are, in fact, not over, despite what people say. TNT, 7:30 tip-off in Dallas tonight for the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. Mavericks can advance to the NBA Finals with a win. God, I don't want
happening.
8 days off. Extend this at least one.
I thought you were going to
game,
say you didn't
3
want
days, yeah.
Kyrie Celtics.
No, that's happening. That's happening. I mean, it's 3-0, but extend this for a day or two. Or if you would rather, ESPN Plus has the 4-part Bill Walton documentary, The Luckiest Guy in the World. Seems fitting. This week, I know it was on TV yesterday, but we weren't on the air yesterday. Hockey, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 4, Rangers against the Florida Panthers down south, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Rangers lead that series 2-1. Baseball, both games of the Dodgers-Mets doubleheader at Shea Stadium, or Citi Field, I guess as it's called now, on TV today. 3 o'clock on MLB Network for Game 1, Game 2.
I just got a text.
Oh, okay. Wow.
From a listener,
huh? Okay.
It's a great text.
Okay. Can we read it on air or not? It sounds like no.
I will read it.
Okay.
I will read it.
Okay.
It simply says this. Every 9 women in Greece seem to be hotter than Kate Upton.
Whoa. I disagree. I'd like to put it up on the poll, but out of context, that's a horrible question.
1 in every 9 women in Greece is hotter than Kate Upton. That's the claim.
Disagree. Game 2 of the Dodgers-Mets doubleheader.
It's your prerogative, man.
6 o'clock on TBS. Yankees-Angels, 8:30 on ESPN+. Astros-Mariners in the Pacific Northwest, 8:30. It's your MLB TV free game of the day. Phillies-Giants, 9 o'clock on MLB Network. Pair of WNBA games on national TV tonight. Mercury-Sun at 6 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Same time, NBA TV. It is Cameron Brink versus Caitlin Clark and the teams that they play for, which you, of course, know are the Los Angeles Sparks and the Indiana Fever.
Thank you.
7 o'clock on NBC. It is officially summer, despite what the weathermen will tell you, because America's Got Talent is on the air.
Oh, perfect.
Season 19 premiere. And then finally on Fox at 8 o'clock, The Quiz with Balls. That's right. That's the name of a television show. 2 families face off for a chance to win $100,000. The losers get whacked into a pool by a massive yellow ball. Jay Farrow hosts.
That sounds kind of funny. I look forward to if there's any clips on social media. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. And that is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning.
At Host Coffee Services, every cup of coffee served comes with a promise of quality, innovation, and a dash of fun, ensuring your workday is as delightful as your coffee break. Call Host Coffee Services today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Summer is here, Father's Day is around the corner, and there is no better place to get dad outfitted than Lindley Clothing. Or yourself. Guys, Lindley Clothing has been outfitting us men for over 88 years. And now with summer here, shorts, polos, short sleeve shirts, golf attire, they've got it all at Lindley Clothing. They're a staple in Omaha. They could be a staple in your wardrobe with the top-notch brands from Jack Victor all the way to Peter Millar. Sportswear to tailored clothing, Lindley Clothing has you covered top to bottom. Shop now at their location, 132nd West Dodge in the Linden Market. It's Lindley Clothing.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in at 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
I'm Dave Osted. And I'm Ryan Osted. Every golfer will get value from being custom fit. The truth is, the higher handicappers will get more value from being custom fit than the low handicappers.
It's changed so much since my dad started the business in 1963. We now have hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology, and we know exactly what the spin rate is, what the launch angle is. We